This is Lansdowne ROAR, the voice of the fans. David Dunn here, joined by Mark Prendergast and Conor McAvoy, and we're live to you on a lovely Sunday night here on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Let me get this crap music off. There we go. You're more than welcome here to another special episode, because every episode here is special, especially when you have Conor on it, of Lansdowne, or Martin actually, because he hasn't been on one for a while. Yeah, you're very welcome. And this is your first time watching us. Of course, we're live here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, as I said on the intro, which I'm absolutely making a four-course meal out of. As your first time watching us, don't forget to subscribe to the page, guys. Thank you very much. And girls, the whole 4% of you that watch our podcast. Yeah, don't forget that how it works is basically, you know, you leave a comment, get involved, have your say. That is what we're all about. We are Irish football's most interactive podcast. So whatever we're talking about here tonight, you can have your say. You can ask any questions you want of the three of us here. We're going to be on for the next 90 minutes, 2 hours. Depends when the comments, what the comments are like. And already a load of you coming in. So yet again, if you are new to the show, we will get your comments. But most importantly, we want to make sure that if you are new to the show, that you're not one of, well, we had somebody comment on a different type of illegal. Subscribed or not subscribed. Sorry, inside joke. Yeah, we had to.
I don't think that. All I gotta say to you, people may or may not have seen that you were already in the chat before the stream started.
Yeah. Listen, you know, we are Irish football's most interactive podcast, but keeping classy, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to abuse Martin or Conor, absolutely work away at it. Just nothing against me, of course. But yeah, don't, it's not a politics podcast. Might talk about war a little bit, and it's not nothing like that. Let's keep it football, let's keep it Irish, let's keep it sexy. But let's keep it legal. And this is what I mean. Apparently, only 59% of you subscribed to the pod actually watch the podcast. Or, sorry, 59. Let me do that again. 59% of you that watch this subscribe to the YouTube page, and 41%, Conor and Martin, 41% of you are not legally streaming this.
I'm sick of it. I
think it's outrageous.
My view is going to go as bright red as Martin is right now, because he's away on his holidays and he's going to be loving life whilst we're.
You look like you've been on your holidays.
Well, he said he's on his holidays now. I was going to say we would be stuck in the bad weather, but it's actually quite nice here in Ireland. Maybe you might know because you live in England, Mr. British Passport. But no, it's nice weather in Ireland at the moment, just for the Irish people out there. Yeah.
Oh, please! If it goes into double figures, it's drought territory, especially up there in Northern Ireland. Martin, you do look like you've been on the old tanning bed. For those of you watching this live, by the way, on Facebook, is not Instagram. Can we go on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube? Just not yet. So yeah, sorry, Martin.
Yeah, sorry, you're just abusing me, basically.
Yep,
which is
what we do.
And as well, I'll call you out. Like you said, you haven't been on for a while. I did the show last Sunday with Conor.
Yeah.
So that's what you're on about. It's nice to have you here on a Sunday, Dave.
Yeah,
it is. You didn't mess up the introduction.
Yeah, Dave.
We did a League of Ireland episode during the week that Conor and I did, because you hate the League of Ireland, Mark.
We done an OBIG during the week. We done a special OBIG during the week. I was on that.
Were you?
Yes.
I forgot.
On Friday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry, Martin.
No,
forgettable.
Yeah,
really.
just to explain the complexion.
Orange by the looks of Martin.
Well,
that's what you are, an orange. So.
No, it's you know what? It's just been out in the sun. I was out in the sun yesterday, watching Enfield Town away to Hampstead, a 1-1 draw in the non-league National League South. Watching Keane Dillon playing up front again.
How do you do?
He did all right. Yeah, he did all right. Yeah, he was quite good. They probably don't play to his strengths, but no, he put himself about a bit. He's got a bit of a build about him. I think he's going to do quite well for us, to be fair. But yeah, interesting seeing him. And then I was coaching today, and this is where I have to come in, Dave. The team that we sponsor, my own Enfield Town under-13s, we won our cup semi-final today. So we've made a cup final, which is fantastic for the lads. And some of them do watch this. Obviously, Keane probably is watching it already now. But Keane was actually man of the match, joint man of the match, actually, because it's voted by the parents. But we beat a team today who had not lost. They're in the division above us. They haven't lost a league game all season. and we beat them today 3-2, and we've made a cup final. So really proud of the lads, and fantastic. Yeah, great start to the day.
Well done.
And that's the team we sponsor because we're all about the grassroots as well.
We are all about
in England.
Well, we will sponsor
not-
an Irish team eventually.
Yeah, when grassroots, it's actual grassroots in Ireland.
When we can trust that the money that we put into a grassroots team is going to be used correctly.
I trust it will. Okay, let's not go too controversial here. So anyway, subscribe to the page. I think.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get into it. Of course, today we're going to be talking a bit more about Evan Ferguson. It's gone really bad for him. Actually, we're going to go through IBIG. We're going to talk Evan Ferguson. We're going to talk Andrew Delhi. We're going to talk all things Irish football, really, and the latest news and rumours. And of course, whatever it is, you wonderful people, the ROAR faithful out there want to talk about. We will get your comments normally in about 15, 20 odd minutes. I don't appreciate this, whoever this rep tracker prick is. That's charming, isn't it? Anyway, but
said that's a horrible fella. So
don't go to rep tracker on Twitter. It's a shite page anyway. Go to Irish football
blog,
Irish football blog instead. Bill, if you're watching, I know you are. There you go. Go to Bill's show instead. That gives a shout there, Bill, if you are watching us. And of course, you guys out there, give us a shout too. We're all a bit out of it today, aren't we? It's all a bit happy and summery, and I got sunstroke today. I was at work earlier on, so yeah. Anyway, right, let's get into it. Shall we get into IBIG, lads?
Yeah, get stuck in.
Right, so Connor has done the IBIG, so if anything's wrong, blame Connor. Right, here we go. Goalkeepers. Caoimhín Kelleher, 90 minutes in a 3-2 loss against Fulham for Liverpool. Josh Keeley, 90 minutes 0-0 draw for Wigan, Leyton Orient. And what happened to the rest of the goalkeepers?
Oh, God. They must be hidden again.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Have you hidden them?
No, I didn't. They were automatically on. They were turned on. But you done it yesterday. Anyone that played yesterday, you put in. But no.
I tell you what.
I'll update it myself. Mark Travers played 90 minutes against Blackburn and got a clean sheet. Who else? We have Gavin Mizuno played tonight. They lost 1-0. But just on the keepers, we'll jump into them. Kelleher, people blaming Kelleher, saying he had a bad day today. I don't think he couldn't have done anything about the first goal. The second goal, I felt like I don't know. I only seen that from one angle. I don't know if the shot was deflected. People could probably say in the comments, but it seems like the shot from Iwobi was deflected, which took him off. And then the third shot, Moniz, as he probably should have saved, but it all comes from Virgil van Disney getting bullied, as per usual, by Moniz. But no, at least it was 2 games in a week for Kelleher, which, well, it does happen sometimes, but not in the Premier League. 2 weeks in the 2 weeks in the Premier, 2 games in the Premier League in 1 week. So no, it's a good week for Kelleher, I would still say, even though he lost.
I just saw a comment here. Thanks to you, Connor. Not this one. This Dave fella can't even work his own software. It's not me. It's him. Connor did it, not me.
No, I didn't. Don't lie to us.
You cheeky. But who uploaded it?
Me, but I just downloaded it.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So Caoimhín Kelleher, bit of a nightmare today. Liverpool today, 1-0 up, and all of a sudden it was 3-1 down within a few minutes. Very, very sloppy. I think Liverpool. I know they've won the league pretty much. Well, you hope, but you guys don't. You're Man United fans. But you'd imagine there's going to be a massive clear out there. Right. Let's get to defenders. Let's see. Have you done the defenders right?
By the way, I just looked at the goalkeepers. This shouldn't be hidden. So whatever's happened. Hopefully I haven't uploaded the wrong ones. No, but I haven't because I put it was no. It's just an issue with our software.
Don't date me. Don't date me. Connor, don't date me. Except when it comes to using software.
Your software.
See what happens when you let children in charge, folks. Right, defenders. Matt Doherty, 65 minutes and a 2-1 win over Ipswich. Jake O'Brien, 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw with Arsenal. Good boy, Jake. Nathan Collins, 90 minutes and a 0-0 draw for Chelsea today, or against Chelsea today for Brentford. Dara O'Shea, 90 minutes and an assist and a 2-1 loss against Wolves. James Abankwah, 90 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Bristol City for Watford. Jimmy Dunn, 90 minutes as a right back in a 0-0 draw with Cardiff for QPR. Robbie Brady, 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw with Stoke for Preston. Callum McDowda, the cheating no, just joking. 90 minutes and 0-0 draw against QPR. Seamus Coleman, an unused sub for Everton against Arsenal. Liam Scales, not in the squad. We do believe he's injured, though. Shane Duffy, 90 minutes of a 2-1 loss against Plymouth. Jesus. Mark McGuinness, 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw with Leeds. Bit of a slip up there for Leeds United. Ryan Manning, 64 minutes and a 3-1 loss against Spurs. Relegated today, actually. Andrew Amabamadeli, he is back. 12 minutes in a 1-0 win over Stade Ram. John Egan, 90 minutes in a 1-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday. Aaron Cashin, an unused sub. Reality bites for Aaron again at Brighton. Asamoah Garcia McNulty, 90 minutes and 2-2 draw against Elmer City. Will Ferry, 90 minutes in a 1-0 win over Hearts for Dundee United.
I'd like to call out Mr. Prendergast here.
Yeah.
Martin, why can you answer about Callum McDowda trying to get a good Irishman, Jimmy Dunn, sent
Brought-
off today?
Brought.
Also,
Yeah.
Captain Cod is currently on track to sink down with Cardiff to League One.
League One. And by the way, this was brought to our attention by, member of the Roar faithful, Deck Finnegan. Actually brought it to our attention on Twitter. Good boy, Deck. So, Martin, your boy. Tell
Not
us
just
what's going
cheating,
on.
but he's also getting relegated as club captain, which you've suddenly made a big deal out of. So
And,
you have a lot to
was-
answer for here.
Wasn't available for Ireland. It's gone and played 2 games, 90 minutes, back to back with Cardiff. Just saying.
Yeah, I've seen some of your comments on the socials, like digging them out for the. It was a bit cheeky. Yeah, interesting to see that though. But look, you got to remember these lads are, playing week in week out against each other, and I think they do set aside the international companionship, I suppose, when they're trying to win games and things. And the dark arts are just part of football. And yeah, it was interesting. Brought to our attention from what did he do? He feigned injury, didn't he? Head injury, and then he jumped up all of a sudden but tried to get him booked. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
In fairness, I don't take too much offense to it. It's just the fact it's funny. It's Captain Cod doing that, and the fact that if they get relegated with Captain Cod as a captain, you'll have a lot to answer for here. And he signed a new contract.
He did, but him and Robinson did, didn't they? Yeah,
both signed a contract, and you were celebrating and congratulating them on this podcast. I remember you made Dave put a picture up to congratulate them, and they're going to be taking Cardiff to League One with their wages on the books. I could imagine Cardiff don't have a relegation clause in these lads' contracts or like a wage decrease because they wouldn't have expected to go down, and now all of a sudden they're getting relegated, and the club's going to be in a financial mess. Because of your boy.
Because of you, Martin. Because of you.
Martin
Prendergast has relegated Cardiff.
Yeah. And Martin, would you still call up Captain Cod if he doesn't leave Cardiff in the summer and they get relegated?
What, if he's in League One?
Yeah.
Can't play for Ireland if he's in League One.
Sorry. Thank you, Stephen Kenny. We had that before, didn't we? And
look where you
ended up. Backtrack there, James.
What are you on about?
That's
we're not talking about James McLean. We're talking about
called him out for.
We're talking about Callum McDowda. We're talking about your boy.
What they got left? 6 games left. It's going to be a tough one.
Did James McLean not call him out for League 2 because it was Wrexham in League 2?
Who? Yeah, it was League 2. So like League 1 then, will that be acceptable?
Not in this current state of Ireland Irish football.
Yeah,
it's not 2020 with Troy Power, MK Dons, and Ronan Curtis making the squad and stuff. We actually have talent in the squad these days. So, no, your boy.
Yeah,
you have a lot to answer for here, Martin. You're going to have a word with him. You're going to have to sit him down, have a cup of tea, whatever he drinks, and just tell him get his act together.
This is a conspiracy theory of my boy and all this stuff, and that I hate Lidsey and all this stuff. I mean, it is ridiculous. I mean, look,
infatuated by Martin Prendergast at Prendy.
I've seen a lot of comments coming in, which is fantastic. Thanks you for the abuse and interaction, of course. And some people are saying, referencing Robbie Brady as the future, which I'm going to dig you out, Dave. Right, Robbie Brady, who was retired. Remember you retired him.
Who's this? What
you want me away from the camera?
I tell you what, Rumen. Well, I just leave it there for the rest of the thing.
Jesus.
Who's this Rumen Radkov?
He was on last week.
Yeah.
Was he now? Is
Some
this
of
what
these names
happens?
are very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Harry,
No,
Rumen
I think he was
Radkov.
on. Was he on for around the Bulgaria games as well?
No, it was last
Yeah.
weekend because he was calling you out, Martin, for having an English accent. He said he
Oh
was
yeah,
Bulgarian living in Dublin. But
Glory
he's a
hunter.
picture of Eva Stadium as his profile picture somehow. I'd worry what's going on here. It's
Yeah.
Dave's burn.
We
Rather
welcome
look
everybody.
Rather look at the cup than your face, day, fella. Well, can't be that bad. You can't even have your own. Fucking doesn't even have his own picture up. He's got the back of his
Back of
head.
the
Or
head.
someone said Andy Beaver. Anyway,
Yeah.
I always love it when people go on like YouTube and whatever, give people abuse. You know, "Ooh, stay it," but like they don't have their own picture on.
Mm.
Just saying. Right, where are we?
Midfielders.
Midfielders. Let's go to the midfield. Let's hopefully you've done those correctly, Connor. Josh Cullen, 90 minutes, a 2-1 win over Coventry for Burnley. Jason Knight, 90 minutes, and 2-1 win over Watford for Bristol. Will Smallbone, 26 minutes, and 3-1 loss against Spurs. He has been relegated to. Jack Taylor, 25 minutes, and 2-1 loss against Wolves. As good as down, really. Finn's 86 minutes, and a 2-0 win over Blackburn. Mark Sykes, 90 minutes, and an assist, and a 2-1 win over Watford. Jason Maloney, 90 minutes, and a 1-0 loss against Sunderland for West Brom. Andy Moore and an unused sub again. Hopefully that answers one of the questions in the comments, sadly. Jamie McGrath, he is still injured for Aberdeen. Of course, he is Hibs bound next season. Alan Brown, 71 minutes as a right back and a 1-0 win over West Brom. Could be heading to the Premier League. Luke O'Connell, 87 minutes and a 6-2 loss against Birmingham for Barnsley. Boston Lawal, an unused sub for Stoke. Connor Coventry, 90 minutes and a 2-2 draw with Lincoln City for Charlton. John Joe Patrick Finn, 21 minutes and a 1-0 loss against Strasbourg for Stade Ram. There you go.
What's your opinion on Southampton going down? No shock, really, but it's always sad to see more Irishmen getting relegated, but it was kind of expected. We knew that going into the season they weren't staying up. Probably it's good for Bazunu next season. Ramsey will go. He'll come back in and play for them in the Championship. Joe Bryan Whitmarsh, who's out on loan at Accrington Stanley, he's doing really well for them. He'll probably hopefully come back in pre-season, get his chance. And now I hope that because relegation has been confirmed, how many games are left? 6, 7, 8?
6 in the Championship. 6.
In the Premier League.
Oh no, Championship. Oh, sorry, sorry. 6, 7 in the Prem. Yeah.
I'm hoping that Romeo Akinchukwu will get a chance before the end of the season because he's a top talent, and I don't see why they wouldn't give him a Premier League debut by the end of the season because they've nothing to play for, and it could be an opportunity just to give him a lad for his platform and for their club's sake that going into pre-season next year will give him something to probably build towards, I would hope.
Yeah, you do see this at this stage of the season when teams have when they're relegated or they've got nothing to play for. I mean, look, the strength of the bench, the benches are bigger now, aren't they, as well? And they do fill it with a lot of young players as well, don't they? Who, they're just having the experience, aren't they? And they might get a few minutes, and later on as well, I think they will. So, you'd hope that's going to happen.
Do you want to add to it?
No, obviously sad that Southampton have gone down. We did talk about this the other day where, Mr.
Earliest team to be relegated, isn't it?
Are they?
Surely that Derby County team where they got
7 points or something today, or
12.
Yeah, they were poor.
Well, maybe it was just the other teams weren't on much either.
No, they aren't. They're down. Yeah. So
yeah.
It's
just sad. Like, I'm looking here at the Championship table. I know we got to cover the forwards as well. Like, you've got Burnley. Obviously, you've got Josh Cullen there at Burnley. You've got Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Bristol, bit of a surprise package in the Championship. You look at these potential Irish players that could be coming back into the Premier League. But then you look at some of the lads that are going out of the Premier League. Casey McAteer, although he's a bit of a non-entity at the moment at Leicester. Ipswich, obviously Sammy Smodic. Any chance they had of staying up, I think went yes. And I knew it would, by the way, against Wolves. They could have started putting pressure on Wolves. That's gone. Southampton had gone. So that's obviously Will Smallbone. Gavin Mazuna, if he comes back from his loan, which doesn't seem to be going too well in Belgium. And Ryan Manning also. So it's a bit worrying.
You only said, by the way, you only said one Irish player at Ipswich. There's about 4.
Yeah.
There's O'Shea, Smoddix, Ogbene.
Oh,
Jack
yeah,
Taylor.
yes. Sorry,
But
yeah.
You'd hope
Uh,
Dara. We'll talk about Dara O'Shea probably after the big, but the form he's in, you think someone will come back in for him.
Yeah, it's just, unfortunately, a lot of the Irish players right now are playing in very sort of blunderbuss teams. They're right down the bottom, Wolves, Everton, West Ham. If you count Evan Ferguson, we're going to talk about that in 2 seconds as well. Looking here, Brentford, yeah, Nathan Collins, 12th.
But you can't say I wouldn't put Brentford anywhere near that category that of them other lads. I'd put them at they're a level above. It's like there's 3 tiers of teams, I would say, to champ or the Premier League. There's your bottom teams that are in that fight are like just above it, and then you have the mid to probably what you'd say probably Europa League teams, and then you have your top 6 as such. Well, it's branched out a wee bit this season, but there's 3 different levels of teams. Brentford would be in that mid pack of middle teams, I would say.
But just even when these teams go down, like for example, like Cousin Will, he's and like Dara O'Shea as well, like you said, like we'll chat about it a little bit later, I'm sure. But that some of them players will be poached out of those clubs, because team
Will
coming
Cousin
up.
Will?
Well, possibly though. I'm saying like if you're going to go for their top players, aren't you? And if for example, I know Sammy Smollix is injured and stuff, but like we want him in the Prem, didn't we?
Yeah.
I know contractually he'd be there, but if it makes financial sense, you could have teams coming in, and like especially some of these promoted teams would go, look, we've got let's go and take their best player, basically.
Yeah, like we say, we want him in the Prem, right? And I understand that, but like, I mean, do we honestly think Sammy Smollett has become better because he went from banging in 28 goals in Championship for Blackburn last season to what 3-4 goals as a big power player, playing in a team that are rubbish, playing in a team that basically played 10 men behind the ball.
Oh, he was more than a bit part player. You can say he was more than that. He was doing well until he got injured.
No, he's doing okay, but like
they're poor, though. I mean,
they're a poor side.
They didn't even ever go.
You want someone to, if a Jason Knight, for example, goes from Bristol up into the Premier League, you don't want him playing at a team that's going to be playing 10 against the wall, backs against the wall, 10 behind the ball, try to nick something. It's kind of, I understand why they do it, but from a selfish Irish point of view, I just find the whole thing just pointless, really. I'd rather them playing in the Championship freely, developing
week in, week out,
on form. Look at Sammy Smollett, like 28 goals in the Championship, fantastic. Premier League. Do I think he could cut it in the Premier League? I do. I really do think. No one's really going to take a punt on him. No one else is going to take a punt on him in the Premier League other than in Ipswich Town. And that's sad. But
Brentford were linked in the summer, I remember, but obviously that never well played out.
Yeah.
And then you had Leeds were heavily linked as well in the Championship, but he wanted to go obviously to the Prem. So maybe you'd hope, but you think with the talent Leeds have, they'll still find a way of getting up. Maybe they'll come back in for him, but it's hard to know because the fact he's missed so long with injury. You just have to hope he thinks when he gets back fit, he's playing for a Premier League career future by hopefully scoring a couple of goals.
But even then, if Leeds go up, Leeds are going to be struggling.
Yeah.
Any team, the money situation right now, it's a chasm between clubs going up. This season's proved it.
But parachute payments help a big thing when they go back down. So Leeds would have got the parachute payments. So that's their only hope with these sort of clubs that like Ipswich are going to get parachute payments now for getting relegated. But you kind of need to be a one and done sort of deal.
I think, like, if you look here, right, Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton have all gone up, and they have been shockingly bad. I mean, Wolves are 32 points. They're 12 points ahead of Ipswich Town on 20, and Leicester have a game in hand, and they'll only get to 20. So it's just poor. Like, it's so poor. And do you really want? I would rather see an Irish player stay in the Championship than go to a newly promoted Premier League side right now, because all you're going to get, if Leeds go up, it's going to be the same. If Burnley go up, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same as last season, except they're going to be getting draw. When Burnley go up, right? Guarantee you, they're going to play the same style of football. They're going to draw. They're going to lose, and Scott Parker will get sacked,
or he'll get the Bayern Munich job.
Or you get the Bayern Munich job as well. But anyway, we'll move it on there. We'll
just go abroad.
Or just go abroad. Yeah, just go abroad. I think that's definitely an option for players. Obviously, if you're young enough. Look, if you're 28, 29, right, you're someone like Sammy Smollett, you get a big payday to Premier League, and you can say, I played in the Premier League and getting on your CV. I totally understand it. Not having a go. I'm being selfish, right? But if you're a young lad, if you're Jason Knight, go up, struggle in the Premier League, suffocate your own career, or go abroad, hone your craft, let it breathe, like what Troy Parrott's done in Holland and in the Netherlands, and then come back to England as a more complete player, playing in a top flight. That's what I reckon they should do anyway. But that's just my thoughts. Right, well, moving on. The attackers. Troy Parrott, 90 minutes and a 1-0 loss against Feyenoord for AZ Alkmaar. Evan Ferguson on you, so we're going to talk about that, of course, in a second. Adamida, 29 minutes and a 1-0 loss to St. Johnstone, Celtic. Sinclair Armstrong, 30 minutes and a 2-1 win over Watford, Bristol City. Mikey Johnson, 70 minutes, 7-0 and a 1-0 loss against Sunderland. Rocco Vata, 90 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Bristol City for Watford. Tom Cannon, 14 minutes and a 1-0 loss against Oxford United for Sheffield United. Sammy Simonic, he's still injured at the moment, but he is back in training, we believe. Festia Basella, he is back, but he was an unused sub. Casey McAteer not even in the squad for Leicester. Big decision for that young man. Chidozie Ogbeni, he is still injured. Colin Robertson, 45 minutes and 0-0 draw with QPR for Cardiff. Michael Obafemi, 63 minutes and a 2-1 win over Norwich for Plymouth. Aaron Connolly, 82 minutes and 2-1 win over Portsmouth, was it, or a loss for Millwall? Tyler Goodrum, 9 minutes and a 1-0 win against Sheffield United for Oxford. So there you go. Says Dean Flood, not the greatest week for the forwards. No, it's a pretty depressing week. Evan Ferguson, I want to get the Roar faithful opinion on Evan Ferguson. We've got a few there, so that's going to be the big topic here. And obviously, Dara, we've touched on Dara O'Shea, obviously shining.
We haven't really touched on him, to be honest. We haven't said nothing about him.
All right, well, we will. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about the positive first, and then I want to tear into the whole Evan Ferguson thing. Dara O'Shea, you were impressed by him, Connor. You wanted to talk about him. He is shining, isn't he, in a very poor Ipswich side?
As good as 2 man of matches, I would say, in the last 5-6 days. With obviously the big win they had against Bournemouth the other day, and the loss yesterday. But
what the fuck is going on here?
There's a lot of nutty mentalness, isn't there, tonight?
Something
on the sauce.
No, but we have to say Dara O'Shea
good man,
has
Bill.
been top class. This over, I'd say, about the last 4 or 5 months. Start of the season was a bit rocky for everyone at Ipswich, and then he has really kicked on. And he looks like now is someone that's he is a genuine Premier League footballer, because there's a lot of lads come up for 1 year. Like he had his initial year at Burnley when he came up, and then he struggled big time that year. And then he had that was last season, wasn't it? Yeah, that was last season. And then he's gone to another level this year. And like you can see when he plays for Ireland, his ability on the ball as a footballer. He's a leader at the back. He's captained Ipswich many times, and he's ready for that next step. Like he was very close to going to Brentford in the summer, was close to going to Wolves, and he ended up going to Ipswich, which was probably the worst of the 3. I don't know whether it was the best financial offer for him or not, or where it was. No, just laughing at something there. But no, but I don't know what you think of him. I think he's probably Dara. I think Mason Collins will make the step up, go to a bigger club in the summer, and Dara O'Shea be his replacement.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's very versatile. Can play left, right, centre. Very, very good. Being very consistent for Ipswich. One of their probably glowing lights of the season for them. And again, if they go down, you've got to be looking at him as anyone, who was their best player going down, and can we have an opportunity to sign him, and what he's going to be on money wise. It's just worth a punt, I think. So yeah, I do think he will move.
I hope so.
I have a question actually for the comments, because we're on the forwards, Dave, because I know you probably agree with me. Does Adam Ida need to leave Celtic in the summer? Because another game today not starting. I know people were saying about Dyson Maida was a striker before he went to Celtic, and then sort of went out in the left. But he's kind of like, it's like he's never really played as a 9 for Celtic before this season. And then Kyogo left. We all thought Ida was going to be that main number 9 from the end till the end of the season at least, or got that chance. But now he's just on the bench playing bit part minutes. Hasn't really, I know he started against St Mirren, but I think it's probably his only start in probably the last 2-3 months. he's not really affecting games. Like a striker needs to be loved. A striker needs to go to a place and go to somewhere and be the main man and start 10 games in a row, start 5 games in a row, and not told if you don't score today, you're back on the bench, or you play bad for 15 minutes, you're coming off after 60 minutes. I think he needs to probably analyze his future, because I'd imagine Celtic are going to invest again in a striker in the summer, which will probably push him back. So, obviously, it's good to see an Irishman playing up front for Celtic, but he's not really playing as much as what we need him to be if he wants us to play for Ireland.
No, he needs to be playing week in, week out. Coming off the bench just absolutely does nothing
But
for him.
with your point there, Dave, like he's not going to the Premier League, though, is he?
No, Championship at best, to be honest.
Unless he tried to go tri-parted and try to go to Holland or somewhere, but I couldn't see him doing that.
He needs to add a new dimension to his game, to be honest with you. It's not going to do in the Premier League. He didn't do it in the Premier League. To be fair, yet again, on a poor side. And, like playing here and there for Celtic isn't really going to do it. It's a poor league. And if you're struggling to get in there, he's got a few goals. Listen, all the best for Adam from out of Ida. Sorry, Connor. But, I just think he needs to. You kind of look at him and go, like, it's a bit difficult, really. You think, well, where can he go other than Celtic? What can he do? He's in that poor league. They're not a great side, let's be honest. And you're thinking, well, the manager doesn't fancy him for whatever reason. And when he comes on, like, a lot of times now he's coming on off the bench, isn't he? He got the goal against Rangers. He won the League Cup. The Scottish Cup last season for them with a late goal, if I remember correctly, just off the top of my head. And he's a bit of a cult figure, but other than that, coming off the bench every now and again, no, he needs to go abroad. He needs to do something. He needs to find a new level and a new dimension to his game, to be honest with you, because looking at him right now, I don't think he does enough, doesn't apply himself enough. Like, you don't really know what he does. Am I being too mean there? Like, when you look at Tri-Part and Ferguson, you look at him and go, right, I see what you're about. I see what your style is. I don't really know what Adam Ida does. And I don't mean that to sound horrible. Sorry, Connor, am I being a bit out of line
Well,
there?
we only really see the best of him when he plays in a team that doesn't dominate possession, because we see his hold-up play and his ability to run channels. But, like, in terms of when Celtic dominate teams, most teams, he doesn't really have an impact. And that's probably why he's not playing that much. And as Winston says, he needs to study Didsy highlights. But no, it's just frustrating, because you can see him in time, like, that's a lad with so much talent, and he done all right when he came off the bench today. Ran down the channel once very well at the ball, and he should have got an assist. James Forrest pretty much missed an open goal, but no, that's just like coming off the bench against St Johnstone to not be. I know Celtic simply says I'm talking bullshit about being loved, but I mean it in the context, not a mean of they should get all the attention. I mean that if you're going to be a number 9 at the club, you want to be the starting. If you're Adam Eady, you need to be the starting number 9 and have the ability to be told that you're our main man.
Or you can confidence of the manager behind you.
But it seems like there's no confidence in him from Brendan Rodgers anymore at all. Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know. I want to say he should get out, but I don't know where he'd go, to be honest. But then I feel like he has to, if he wants to establish himself as a clear number 9 at a football club.
A lot of our players are in the same boat, really, aren't they? You look at them there, like very, very bad week in the big, really.
It's not been a great. I was talking to someone. It's not been a great club year as such for Irish players. The year as a club year, it's not actually been that good. But we've just had some lads that have been standouts, and the fact is we have more quality and depth. Our squad in general is a lot higher quality, but in terms of lads shining at club level, you could only really say, I would say, shining is Nathan Collins, Finn Azaz, Kelleher when he's played, and then probably Jake O'Brien the last couple of months. And then you could say, but Dara Shea's got relegated, so you can't really say him. But other than that, like, you could say like Jason Knight, Josh Cullen have had good seasons, but when you're doing it as central midfielders and their style of play is probably not the most sexy thing. Yeah. So it's not actually been the greatest season. Like,
it's been poor. I think it's been shocking. Gavin Mizuno, he's on loan there at the moment. It's not really going well for him. I mean, that's not a great league, to be fair. You've had Queven Keller, to be fair. If Liverpool do win this league, I mean, they're 11 points ahead, 7 games left. He probably will be the goalkeeper that lifts the trophy, which would be lovely. He deserves it. Like, he's not.
Why would he be?
I don't know. How long is Alisson out for?
I'll probably I
Concussion,
thought
is
he
it?
concussion or something. He'll be all right. He'll find a way.
You
But he'll
don't
probably
know.
get injured. He'll
You
come
don't
back
know.
and then he'll get injured again.
Well, there's a bit of that, but you don't know. You don't know. Concussions are funny things. Like, well, they're not funny, but the funny things they can keep you out for months, depending on the concussion and especially with CT and all that. So we don't know. But yeah, it just hasn't been good, has it? You know, Andrea Bombardelli, he's back there, but he was injured for a while. He looked like he was doing well at Strasbourg.
Oh, I'm forgetting Troy Parrott. Sorry, so Baylor's telling me.
Yeah, no. To be fair, Troy Parrott is the absolute
Yeah.
standout player. You're absolutely right, Bella. Thank you. And
And Didzy.
and Didzy, of course, always Didzy. But Evan Ferguson, obviously, we're going to talk about Evan Ferguson. We see some of the comments. We will get to those about this, guys. Do be patient in the next 10 or so minutes. But you look like you look at Evan Ferguson last year. He was the golden boy of Irish football, the great big hope. This season, he can't even get a game. I think he was sold a pup. To be honest, this is my opinion on it, lads. Tell me what you think. You guys, Martin, Connor, as well as the Raw faithful. I think he sold a pup to go to West Ham. He's probably promised. He's probably sold a bill of goods as well. Probably promised, yeah, I know you, blah blah blah. Potter probably thought he was going to get to sign him, which wouldn't be a bad signing because West Ham are a bigger club than Brighton. They are probably just not in a good space. By the way, 1,000 of you watching on Sunday night. Thank you very much. Thank you. And basically, he thought, yeah, the Potter connection. Tried to sign him because he obviously wasn't match fit. Tried to sign him. Brighton went, no, we don't really want to sign him, or proved to be very difficult. And Potter's gone, do you know what? I don't really need him anyway. He's not my plans next season, so I'm just going to let him rot on the bench. I'm going to blood in the players that will be, like Fulkrug. Is that his name? Fulkrug?
Yeah. And the state of him scoring a nice header the other day as well. Just made it even worse.
And, even his post-match interview was all about, wow, it's great to have him back. And, oh, yeah, he's looking well, my boy. And poor Evan Ferguson is just sitting there rotting on the bench as a 20-year-old. And I think that annoys me. What's the point in signing him? They aren't, and I understand it from a West Ham point of view as well, but West Ham just seem to ruin Irish players or turn them into English players. But anyway, it's just a really poor move. And I don't know who advised Evan on that. Was it just poor advice? Was he promised something? In my opinion, I think he was, because why would he? He's a bright lad and he's got good people around him, I believe. And it's just awful. He's just sitting there, 7 games left. He's going to have a bit of a rebuild. He's I don't know where he goes in the Premier League, because your man Hurtzler doesn't fancy him. So he's probably not going to play at Brighton unless he goes away, just literally lives like a monk over the summer, goes away, does, trains on his own or whatever, and comes back an absolute machine and hits the ground running. That's probably the only thing he's going to do if he's going to stay. And we have seen that with some players. I remember Stephen Ireland did it. Do you remember? He went away, did kickboxing, didn't he? And he came back lean and he just hit the ground running. Now it all fell away because he was a bit flaky, but there you go. Maybe Evan Ferguson needs to do something like that. Go away, come back. Right, here I am. If not, you'll have to go on loan again. Don't think he'll go on loan in the Premier League. Not saying he's not good enough. He'll have to go abroad. He'll have to go to a European league. But that's my opinion.
Wouldn't be bad going to Bayern Leverkusen. That's all I'm going to say.
No, I wouldn't. And by the way, people are probably out there thinking, "Oh, maybe it's his attitude. Like, is it his attitude?" No, there's no reports. Oh, there's no reports, Connor. You've heard nothing, have you, about his attitude? Yes or no?
No, all of them positive.
Nothing about his attitude whatsoever. So this is clearly, I think he's been very unlucky. I think he's got great talent. He's got it. He just needs to nurture it. Just because you have it doesn't mean you're going to make it. But you have to nurture that. And I think he's got it. And I think he's got that X factor. But he's been very unlucky with injuries. He's been very lucky with a prick of a manager at Brighton, in my opinion. And I think he's been very unfairly treated at West Ham. But I still have hope for this boy. Look, against Bulgaria, he was about to be taken off. The midfield wasn't doing his job against Bulgaria. Don't even try and say they were, Martin Prendergast. And he went back. And yeah, I know, right? And he went back, picked the ball up, ran forward, saw he was about to be taken off, ran forward, played a 1-2 with Finazaz, and he just smashed it into the roof of the net. This boy has a special talent. Anytime when I watched him in full flow, he reminds me of a Shearer. He just has that thing about him. And we need to be very patient with this guy. And I think it will come good, because talent
you're
always
forgetting one huge thing that people seem to be forgetting. You're talking about coming back after pre-season and being a machine. the next step for him is have a preseason. He was injured the whole of preseason
Yeah.
last year. I know he did train a bit, but he hadn't really been involved with Brighton at all. I think the first game he was involved was that EFL Cup game that, remember, Mark O'Mahony scored, and then he went and loaned to Portsmouth the next day. He was just on the bench that day. And I remember when he went away with Ireland in September, Brighton didn't want him going away. They wanted him to stay at the club for fitness reasons.
Yeah.
And supposedly, whatever, it didn't make the injury any better. Rolling Stone's saying about the long-term patella injury. I haven't heard anything about that, but I'm not doubting your Rolling Stone, but unless there might be something in that. But
he was out for a while injuries. We knew that.
Yeah,
like,
yes. But he did missing
like
pre-season is huge, because that's where the main fitness work is done, and then you're playing catch up for the rest of it, especially when you're injured, like the injury he had, because he was out for a good while before that. Like before that, I'm looking here, and before the last game he played for Brighton before pre-season was on the 31st of March. So basically, he didn't play a match from the 31st of March until the 8th or the 27th. No, it was the 7th of September against England. He didn't play a competitive match. So he's been playing catch up the whole season. So I think once pre-season comes around, and more than likely the pre-season will be at Brighton, and Hurster will probably still be in charge, and it'll be up to him whether, if he impresses in pre-season, which I'd imagine he will do if he gets a full pre-season under his belt. But no, I think that's a key thing people are forgetting, is that he didn't have a pre-season at all.
Yeah, look, he's still young. I think, he's 20 years old. I think it's ridiculous that we're even, people are even writing him off, and he just needs time, basically. The injuries as well. He's a growing lad still. Like, he's a big lad. Like he's not carrying a lot of, he's not fat or anything like that, but he's a growing young man, basically. And he's just grown into his body, and he's going to have to, he's done it in the Premier League. Like Shearer was talking about on Match of the Day and stuff. They can see it in him. He's just going to need time. Like Troy Parrott needed time. We're just in a rush to give these lads and write them off for some reason. And, even talking about Adam Eder, look, I kind of understand your point. I do get your point, Dave. I can't see what he does in a sense, whereas I can see what Evan Ferguson offers. I know where Troy Parrott would fit into a team if I was picking it. I think I'd understand where, Schmodik's all them players, but Eder doesn't do enough for me.
He strikes me as somebody who has had a very stop-start learning process, doesn't he? Like he's not a very complete package. He looks like he does a bit of that, but you don't really know what it's about, because he's been very interrupted, hasn't he, at Norwich?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see. I don't want to see. Like these young lads, like they don't need to. And look, we've spoken about it before in the past when Harry Kane went on loans and it didn't always work out. And you don't, but I've got no problem with Evan going on loan to maybe Championship sides, get a little bit. But I know he's too good for that. But it might just get him a run of games where he will be playing and he will be scoring. And like you said, Connor, he's getting the confidence of a manager who's going to give him a run of 10 games. Whether he scores or not, you're not just going to get hooked. You're not going to be talked about. Like, I think he needs. He's not like Rooney. He's not like them lads who broke through and just had that and were trusted straight away with it. I think he just needs time to grow into himself a little bit, and I'd be very hesitant to kind of write him off and say, "Oh, he's not good," and there's a bad attitude perhaps there, or he's not working hard enough. I think he has got everything. And it's great that when he comes in to play for Ireland, he's being trusted. We fast-tracked him, obviously, under Kenny. And I think we were in danger of... I can understand why Kenny did that. But, I just think back to that game against France at the Aviva, Lansdowne ROAR, of course, that, he just couldn't get a kick that day. It must have been so frustrating for him. But, that was ridiculous that he was played in that game, looking back at it now. At the time, I would have been a fan of saying, yeah, let's play him, because he was raw and talented, but it didn't do him any favors. And I
didn't think it did any. To be honest, I didn't think it done him any harm. To be honest, I disagree. I don't think there was anything in that game that thought it would have. It didn't affect his confidence. It didn't do any problem.
It probably didn't. But yeah, it probably didn't. But still, I just think the expectation, though, Connor, is that night was ridiculous from people in the crowd. Oh, he didn't do much and stuff like.
That's clowns in the crowd, but
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's that. But that's what though he has to face, because the expectation of him when he's playing, because he's scored a few goals with Brighton and things. It's like Adam Eder as well. When he got the hat trick, everyone was thinking, "Wow, where's this guy come from? He's going to be the hope for Irish football now. They just need time, these lads. They definitely do. And I've seen a lot of comments about Troy Parrott tonight. He probably has been I would say probably has been our best player club football this year. Especially going away and abroad and doing it.
Say him and probably Collins and Zaz. I'd say were the top three. Probably Collins been the most consistent.
I knew you get Zaz in there.
No, because Zaz and Parrott have had they've gone a couple of games each where they haven't affected a game, and Collins has been so effective basically the whole season. Not really had maybe one or two off games, but other than that, he's been top class.
Right. What do you guys think of it out there? We're going to get to your comments now. Who's your best player of the year? I mean, probably has to be Troy Parrott, to be fair, doesn't it?
And also, can I just jump in there? I'd like some kind of feedback because we're getting a bit of abuse tonight, which is fine. Don't really give a shit, to be honest.
We aren't. It's only a certain.
Well, I am. Yeah.
But,
I'm getting abuse.
No, I'd like to kind of know because some of these profiles, and it's fantastic your support and watching the show and stuff. We do appreciate that, but I'd like to know, any match going fans, are you season ticket holders? Not that you have to be, of course, to watch us, but what was the last game you went to? Do you go to games, or are you just on this to find out about the latest footballers and whatever it is? But no, I'd just be interested to know bit of background with people. I don't like I'm not going to
because Martin will find
keyboard
you.
Warriors. Yeah, keyboard warriors, but it's fine.
They're always keyboard warriors, Martin. It's funny, they never come up and say it to your face. But anyway, right, especially you and your fucking Donald Trump makeover there, Martin. Right,
I like the one. That was the best one.
What about also we're forgetting about Prendy's beloved Tom Cannon isn't getting a kick at Sheffield United. Prendy was saying how much we need to call him up. Yeah, you really know we need to have. Yeah, you were saying we need to have Cannon and Ferguson up front together with this obsession you have because you value other people's opinions more than mine. But no, Tom Cannon has done. It's been a very poor move so far at Sheffield United. I don't think it will be in the long run, but it's been a very rough start. He hasn't scored for them. Now he's just a substitute coming off the bench. Rhian Brewster is playing more minutes than him, which is not a great sign. And especially if they go up next season, will he be loaned back to the Championship? Or will they stick hold of him?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not being funny, right?
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, like if you can't even if you're struggling to do it for them in the Championship, you're hardly going to be the go-to guy when you go to the Premier League. And all due respect to Tom Cannon, but that's the truth of it. Like, just doesn't seem to be doing it at the moment at club level. Sorry, Martin.
He's
would a loan move for Evan Ferguson be Celtic?
No, go away.
Do you see that happening?
No.
Playing Champions League football?
No.
Season starting a bit earlier?
No. Because you're always going to because they're going to just call it the Farmers League. It is just a one-team league. It's not even a two-man. It's not even a two-team league anymore. No disrespect to Celtic. It's a great club, great tradition, all of that. But no, because even if if you went up there, the only way that could work, right, and this would never happen, if you put him up there for 3 months, and he went out and he went in and he scored like a shit ton of goals, just to get his confidence back in to bring him in. That's the only way I can see that work. And they're not going to do that, obviously. No, just no, because I
know a certain someone doesn't value the Scottish League at all. So I don't think so. I don't think that would be a good move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't value the Scottish League, so there you go.
Like, if he doesn't value
it, no. Well, that's worrying a little bit, isn't it? With Jamie McGrath as well, though, isn't it?
Well, Jimmy McGrath's he's done an Ireland setup at this stage, I think.
That's the worst.
Bill, I like you, Bill.
As a suggestion, that's not a bad suggestion.
It's a shocker. It's a shocker.
No, it's not.
It could happen, but it's a shocker if it doesn't. If it does happen, Martin, it's your fault. Right, let's get into the comments. But before we do, don't forget, if this is your first time watching Lansdowne ROAR live, hello. More than welcome to BSDs too. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel on YouTube, please. This is a little stat. I'm going to read it out. Yes, I'm going to read it out again. There are 59% of you watching this legally and 41% of you watching it against the law. Don't be a lawbreaker. Subscribe to the channel, please. We're trying to grow the channel. We're trying to grow the page. Please do. We're trying to get, where are we trying to get to? We're at 2,000, just over 2,000.
We're in 2,062. We need to get 2,070 by the end of this stream.
2,070.
Oh, Martin's not coming back from his holiday.
Martin won't be coming back from his holiday, Martin. Don't worry, Martin. It'll be grand. We want 8. Come on, give another 10. Not a 10 of you out there. Come on, give us a little,
Hit the button.
yeah, just click a button. You can mute us if you want. I don't care. Just fucking subscribe. Right, let's get into the comments, and this is gonna be funny. We're gonna, you've hurt Martin's feelings for a start, but
Yeah.
right, here we go. Okay, the pun. Oh, Rolling Stone, like clockwork. I admit I have been wrong about Ferguson. I listened to Scout Talk, whatever that is, about, and he said that he has all the ability to become one of the top strikers in the Premier League. Having watched all his Brighton goals, his finishing is a bit special. All right, yes, it is. Damien Delaney believes Evan has an attitude problem. I disagree. Ferguson has had issues with his pantella tendon since 2003.
That's serious, but I imagine he meant 2023.
Yeah, I was going to say it was even more.
And he
I know.
means patella. Pantella isn't a part of your body.
I was going to say, I feared it is this injury and attitude which is causing his demise. I meant not his attitude. And his injury is 2023. And Paul Carr says, hey, Rolling Stone. And Rolling Stone says, hello.
Hello, Rolling Stone. Hope you're well. Just to think,
Hello.
anyone that values Damien Delaney's opinion, they need to, as Irish Football Blog will do, I know he'll suddenly post, all of a sudden, he'll have that Damien Delaney own goal for Cork City. I think it was a daily mount. One of the best own goals I've ever seen in my life. So, Bill, if you're there, you know what to do.
Is that when his career was coming to a halt? And by the way, and DM Lennon Miller. Good private joke. Paul Carlin asks, what's your thoughts on Jeff Hendrick, Rolling Stone? And he answers, Jeff Hendrick could do some amazing things with the ball once in a blue moon. And Danny O'Neill says, woke nonsense, Jeff Hendricks in 2025. Just to touch on the Evan Ferguson bit, we're obviously going to be touching on this quite a lot. You are. Obviously Evan Ferguson, no attitude problem. It's not, it's not like, we're hearing reports certain players were kind of thrown out of certain teams for training issues, attitude problems. None of that with Evan Ferguson, right? I just think he's been very, very unlucky. DM asks, who does Rolling Stone support? We'll get back to that in a second. But Celtic Symphony says the Artistic League should introduce a draft system where they draft players from the second tier. Thanks. Thoughts on that, Connor?
I don't know. I don't know my thoughts on it. I need to deep that and analyze it. But no, Rolling Stone. I'm not Rolling Stone, Celtic Symphony. I like the idea. Keep up with the good ideas, because I don't know if Dave or Martin is a fan of that. But yeah, it's interesting. I've never really heard of someone think of that before.
It's interesting. I don't know how it could work or why it wouldn't work, how it could work. I don't know really about it. Sounds very American. Is that an Americanism? Is that a Yankism, is it?
Well, draft is, isn't it?
Yeah, drafts are all American sports. Like,
the only draft that Martin and I knows about is what comes out of tap. Is that right?
Yep, you're right.
Yeah. Or what comes through the door. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Danny O'Neill, Rolling Stone, are you Harrison's bro? Baylor, Dapper Ditzy strikes again. You should keep weekly updates. Thing that Connor had on the King. Alex says, poor weekend for the Irish Lance Keller isn't as good as we think. Sorry, what you make of that, Alex? I disagree. I just think he's a little bit rusty.
I like Gallagher, and I think Man United should buy him.
I think Martin's a clown, but I do think Gallagher's the GOAT.
He was at Man. I was speaking to someone about this the other day, and I said I brought this up on the pod, and he was saying, yeah, they should be backing for him, and that he was at Man United very early on, training there years ago.
Harry Kane was at Spurs.
No, I'm just saying.
Or was it Arsenal? He's not going to go to Arsenal.
I'm just saying.
I know you're just saying, but you're just talking out of your arse at this stage, Martin. He is not going to Man United.
Okay.
I as I said, I almost wanted to go to Man United just to shut you.
I'd love him to be at Man United, but he's not going to United. It just doesn't happen.
Right. Well, this one could go on. I do think he is as good as we think, Alex. You got to put
brilliant.
You got to put into context. Yeah, he's still quite young. when he makes a mistake, and he does make the odd error, Alisson makes errors, but it doesn't affect him the next game. Gallagher doesn't fall to pieces. You look at the likes of Jerzy Dudek when he was so good for Liverpool, right? So good. You probably won't remember this, Conor, but Martin, you'll know what I'm talking about. He was so good for Liverpool, never made a mistake. Sander Westerveld, his predecessor, was dreadful. And then he made that one mistake. Do you remember Diego Forlan at the Cup, Martin?
Yeah.
Was that the Cup, was it? It was, wasn't it? And he was never the same after that. He never made a mistake for Liverpool. And then he made that mistake and he just fell apart. Gallagher's made mistakes for Ireland. He's made mistakes for Liverpool. And you know what? It doesn't bother him. He comes back and he does the exact same thing. So that, for me, is an elite mentality. And that, for
great
me,
mentality.
Yeah, shows that this boy has got what it takes to become one of the top goalkeepers in the world. There you go. Fionn Darcy, who do you think will get a move this summer, and will it be progression or regression for that player? Also love the show, lads. Keep it up. Thank you, Fionn. Who's going to? I mean, we did touch on it before we got into the comments.
Kelleher,
yeah,
Kelleher,
to United,
Travers, Josh Keeley, Nathan Collins, Dara O'Shea, Anselmo Garcia McNulty, Will Ferry, Jason Knight, Troy Powart, maybe Evan Ferguson, Boston now all might move. No, I think he will. Actually, I think Stoke will want to have him in pre-season. Who else do we have out there? I hope you'd love Ogbene, but Ogbene is not going to leave because of the injury.
What about Festi or Abanko? Are any of them moving?
No, Abanko you'd hope will be at Udinese next season. Festi, which was only just signed for Istanbul Başakşehir.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Is there anyone else in the Ireland setup? Cousin Will, I think, will just stay at Southampton because it's his club. Like, maybe a few under 21s lads.
I think there's levels to be fair as well.
Might see Ike Razi leave Stad Rem in the summer. I'm trying to think. Joe Hodge. Yeah, Adamida, Joe Hodge, Connor Coventry, Luca Connell. There's so many Irish lads I think will be on the move this summer.
basically everyone in Ibig. Everyone in Ibig is gonna.
I'm thinking
it's gonna move for them.
I think at least 50% of them lads could, or maybe I'd say 40% will be on the move this summer because a lot of lads are either going to get first team football or us upwards move.
And 50% are probably going to get relegated or promoted. So they're either some will.
Gives us stuff to talk about in here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Tom Cannon, for example. Sheffield United will probably go to the Premier League, but then he'll probably go on a loan move because he ain't going to cut in the Premier League.
Or do a Casey McAteer job. The thing is, they paid 10 million for him, so maybe they might keep him. Like, but they did pay. What was it? 30 million they paid for Ian Brewster.
Jesus. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, Rolling Stone. Nobody really in his response to who he follows. I just take a shine to certain players I see. I have a soft spot for Man United, but that's about it. I'm not English, so why would I have any affiliation with them? Danny O'Neill. Keller has been brilliant nearly every time he has stepped in. Yes. He's allowed a bad day. Jack O'Connor, good evening, lads. FNL, the weather was top this weekend, says Jack. Good man, Jack. Hope you are well. Rolling Stone, Kelleher, Moran. Moran needs to move to a continental league.
Oh, I forgot about Andy. Yeah, Andy needs to go to a continental league.
Eredivisie would be perfect for him. Technically proficient player, not as physical, would allow his game to breathe. I've been saying it for weeks on here.
Let him shine.
Let him shine. Let him shine. Shine. Owen Cassidy, one weekend away, weather is good. Was raining in Istanbul this evening. You're in Istanbul, Owen. You're not over watching Festi, are you? Hope you're well, though, pal. Alex, Graham Potter's an absolute danger, by the way. The new number one solution to insomnia. Boring clown is wasting Ferguson's time. I agree with you there, Alex. He is. Simon Jordan called him a flake.
Why?
Because he couldn't cut the mustard at Chelsea. He absolutely. You ever see the picture of Potter? There's like a before and after when you see him when he signed for Chelsea, and then well deep into his time at Chelsea, he looks completely disheveled. He just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And West Ham, it's a massive club. Baylor, Rolling Stone, how's Lennon Miller getting on? Rolling Stone, in the Premier League now, they are very few players with real playmaking ability.
Fact.
John Patrick did quite well when he came on, and it's good to see Big Andy back. Andrew Amabamadeli. He was back. Did you get to see any of them, Connor?
No, I didn't. But what was it? John Patrick played 20 minutes. Nick said he played well. I didn't see that. But then I think Andy came on in the 87th minute, but it's a scene on SofaScore said he played 12 minutes. So I'd imagine maybe he might have just headed the ball 1 or 2 times. But I've seen people I was trying to see how John Patrick did on Twitter, but all the comments were that Strasbourg cheated and Strasbourg fans apologising for cheating. So it must have been for one of the red cards or either the goal. I think it was one of the red cards in the game.
See, at least they have the class to apologize for cheating. Is that right, Martin?
Yep.
Yeah.
Apologising.
Yeah, I mean they apologized to me in Paris after the Henry handball. Yeah, they didn't apologize to you, Martin. They probably thought you were gonna like smash a chair through the window. When he heard your accent. Pow, pow, pow. Oh, actually, there's a comment about what we're doing to Martin there. We should have been. We're not supposed to be doing it. Sorry. Looking at the Turkey-Hungary match in the first leg, Hungary outplayed them. They had less possession, but much more shots on target. A very dangerous team on the counter. Their players are on a level or 2 above. Celtic Symphony. I don't know if this is the real Celtic Symphony. Hi, David. You have a lovely voice. They should get you on the radio. Thanks. Thank you, Celtic Symphony.
That's their
You
fake
should.
Celtic Symphony.
Yeah, but you know what? It may be the fake Celtic Symphony, but their opinion is just as valid, Connor, right? Winston Morrison, how you doing, Winston? At Celtic Symphony, solid shout with the draft, League of Ireland has potential. Just watch that Copa Doc. A draft event will be innovation and go mad viral. Yeah, whatever gets the bums on seats or eyes on the prize. Said Lepelin. Has Yates from Forest got Irish connections? Could be Heimer's a bastard.
Wouldn't say so.
Why?
Because I'm just guessing.
If you want all the latest news on Irish football, lads, head over to Rep Tracker where Connor guesses about players coming through. Jesus Christ.
Just coming through. Do you know who Ryan Yates is? He's not a young caddy anymore.
How old is he?
He's probably about 26, 27, I'd say.
Probably about 26, 27. Yet again, folks, at Rep Tracker for all the latest
Ryan
news.
Yates is.
I don't claim to.
He's 27.
I deal with nostalgia. Oh yeah, you got it on your phone, did you? Donny Nagel. Evan Ferguson must be the only striker in world football who is judged on 45 minutes. Yeah, actually, do you know what? We're going to get back to that. Holland plays Highland. Highland. Oh, whatever. Shit. Plays almost every game at United and has practically the same goals as Fergie, yet is barely criticised. That's fair, I mean, that's something. Sorry, do you know what, Donny? Thank you very much. That's something else I wanted to rant about. Thank you for reminding me. He plays 45 minutes for West Ham. He starts, right, after scoring an absolute gorgeous goal against Bulgaria. Okay, he's like a match fitness, right? But still, he shows what he could do. He starts a game. He makes a 3-man substitution at halftime because they were terrible. And then Ferguson gets dropped for the next game. That's just shit. I'm sorry, that is just pure shithousery from Potter. And I think that's a case of, all right, West Ham fans, you want Ferguson. And he's kind of done with what Charlton did with this is going to the older fans, with Brady, Stapleton, and Galvin. He put him on display. All right, go on. There you go. Oh, look, he didn't do well. I played him in a system we never played before. Oh, dearie me. Don't have to play him now.
But that reminds me of, for all my Man United fans out there, when Anthony Martial was at the club under Mourinho and he refuses to play him, and then he played him. And Mourinho was like, he was like, you're stop annoying me by playing him, but then he went and scored, and then he had to keep playing him. And then he signed that bum, Alexis Sanchez. But it obviously hasn't worked out with the Ferguson time, try to give him the game.
No, and Trapp did it. Do you remember with Houlihan, Martin? And he scored, and Trapp was raging when Wesley scored. Managers do this. They do this thing. It's a weird, perverse thing that managers do. Jack did it back in the day. Trapp did it in the 2010s. And now Potter's doing it with Ferguson. And I just think it's shit.
And actually, and then all the West Ham fans have turned on Ferguson, think he's terrible. Plus, Fulcrook supposedly got injured in training day before the match, and he wasn't going to be fit enough to start. So, Fulcrook didn't start the other day. So but they didn't start Ferguson either. They just played without a natural number 9 and played with the front two of Bowen and Kudus. So which is more worrying for me is the fact they didn't start full crook at all, and then didn't bother play Ferguson. Like, so it's annoying. Like,
He's out in his arse. He's out in his arse.
thing
He
is,
doesn't know.
Ferguson isn't fully fit. You watch him, and like I know, was it Donny Nagel said about Highland? Highland does get criticism because he is useless. But Ferguson is getting a lot unfair criticism for stuff he hasn't done wrong or hasn't played. Yeah, he maybe could have done better with the chance against Wolves, but at the end of the day, it was a terrible pass by Bowen. Bowen, because he's their little star boy that won him the European Cup. They'll never give out about him. Like
Conference League, steady on. No, it's just typical nonsense. Though, even some of the like some of my other mates, my real friends, were giving out. They were like, "Oh, you know, Ferguson, he's terrible, worst player on the pitch," and it's this kind of negativity around him, where like, "Oh yeah, let's tear him down." Oh, he scored a couple of goals last year, and everyone's building him up. He thinks he's a superstar now. Let's tear him down. No, let's look at it. Let's look at his situation. I'm not going to go through it again. You can hear it throughout. But let's look at his situation. Let's look how unlucky he's been, and let's look how poorly the manager has treated him. In a way, I understand it. But West Ham aren't going down. They're not going to be relegated. They're probably not going to finish very high. And yet they're going to treat this lad like that. I think it's disgraceful. Why bring him? Why bring him? You signed him. It's not as if he was a player that Potter. He was at West Ham. Potter's come in, had a look, I don't really like him. He's not really get rid of it in the summer. You signed him. You fucking signed him as a player, and you're not playing him, and he's not fit. He's not match fit, and you're treating him like that, and then you're treating him such a way where the fans you comment, oh yeah, the miss, and then you're fucking rubbing Fulkrug's belly like he's a fucking Labrador. Sorry, I know I was talking to you lads off air about not swearing as much, but it fucking annoys me.
Oi, language, oi.
Shut up. No, but it does annoy me, and I think it's bollocks, really. But anyway.
And I have a suggestion. What do you think, Martin? Go to Celtic on loan?
Jack O'Connor, Eda Cameo was speaking of Celtic. Eda Cameo was promising for Celtic. His move from Zone 14 was quality. Hopefully, HH can find a way to work Eda and Ferguson as double nines. What?
Zone 14. Don't know what that is.
Connor, you're young. Can you?
It's the one after Zone 13. That's all I know.
Incognito. Hello, everyone. I'd like to know how Andy Moran is getting on a Stoke. I can answer this one. Badly. He's got a sore arse. No, I shouldn't say that. He's got splinters in his bum from sitting on the bench.
He's out of the championship into a league that can actually play football, not just hoofball. Stoke are dreadful.
Rolling Stone. So Wales against Montenegro. God, you watch a lot of football. Wales have the same level of players, but they defend and attack the team so well. Shame we don't have Bellamy as our manager. Alex Keane Dillon, striker, stinker, and hooked. Keane Dillon. Oh. That's your boy, isn't it?
Yeah, he played all right. He played okay. It went. Yeah, plenty of games to go.
Why is there an English bloke on an Irish podcast?
Oh dear.
I know.
My Irish passport, yeah. What passport do you travel on, Dave?
What do you have to go me for? Irish. I showed you my Irish when you prick. Clem Fandango. Yates sounds pretty Anglo like YB. Sponsors English teams yet hates England. Oh my god. You don't what?
No, I don't hate England. Sponsor a team through the podcast that I coach in England.
Oh,
for sake. Jesus.
Yeah. I think that's
I don't know how hard that is to understand.
Yeah, Rurak of this day, lads, chat some spunk.
Yeah.
The English bloke's actually better than this day fella. Blah 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 blah. I think
some friendly.
Yeah, we don't need to give a lot of attention to some of these dickheads.
Ruben, that is the last what I'll be reading now here. You're a spa. Anyway.
Wow.
Language. I fucking don't care. Incognito. Thanks, Rolling Stone. I think it'll be good once he develops a bit physically. Alfie Conneely. Hi, David. Hope all is well. Question for you. What's your opinions on Ola?
And then Massa, son. Yeah, you're just
I don't know, but I'll have an answer for you next week. Sunstroke, remember. Jack O'Connor, lads.
You
I
had to
don't.
say the second name. You've said him before.
Adegbayega?
Yeah. Adebayo. You know, you've made me say it wrong because of you.
That's what I do. Don't know anything about it, to be honest. Jack O'Connor, lads, I don't like this English slander. Anglo-Irish relations are tense enough at the moment, and English players manager has created some magic. Moments for us to tally €90.88. I said, it's a bit of crack, Jack. Oh, hey, that rhymes. It's a bit of crack. Don't forget, I live in London. Martin is from London,
Do you?
and Connor lives in Northern Ireland. So, I mean, we all have UK connections here. So, yeah, just enjoy it.
I'm the only one here that's not eligible for an English passport.
There are no such things as English
British.
passports. Called British passports. Show us your Northern Ireland passport, Connor.
Listen,
Don't worry, I'm not eligible for one.
I can safely say all three of us have an Irish passport.
Some of us just have a second passport somehow. Montenegro or something.
Yeah. Baylor, we've got a ginger, orange, order member, and an orange man surprise. This is still large football. See, that's the sort of shit we like to hear.
So who's Orange Order member?
We've got two gingers.
I'm the orange
Yeah,
man.
Oompa Loompa.
That's him.
I mean, Connor somehow has managed to look paler than me, which is incredible, really. Look at that. I look alive.
It's delighting.
Yeah, no, it's not really. He just look like death warmed up. Rolling Stone. It's very hard to know about Moran. He could go either way, but his ability is miles ahead of his as. Downtown 123. Good lads. Great when the three of you are on together. It's worrying how Fergie's getting on, and he hope he can do a Parrot and not a Conley or Obafemi. Good to see Sykes get Player of the Month. Yeah, I agree there, Downtown 123, and thank you, and we're glad you are watching. We hope you're enjoying it. Just under 1,500 of you watching us on a Sunday night. Guys, thank you so much. Brilliant support as always. Celtic Symphony, listen here, Alex, you gobshite. Graham Potter's a PL manager, and you have the cheek to say he's wasting Ferguson's time. Ferguson can't even lace his own boots proper. He's not good enough, you daft prick. Wow. That I was expecting that anger there from you, from the real Celtic Symphony. Can we get the fake Celtic Symphony who says I have a lovely voice? Martin Fitzpatrick, delighted to hear about the under-17s. I'm old enough to remember Brian Kerr's team. Me too. Some great players from those teams. Duff, Robbie Keane, John O'Shea, and Richard Dunn. Keep up the good work, lads. Thank you, Martin. As always, very keen contributor to the page and the pod. Rolling Stone then chimes in. Damien Duff was a special player. And Rolling Stone, as good as that Lamal kid, everyone seems to think it's the next Messi. Lamal?
You mean Lamal, the Barcelona winger. He probably is the next Messi. He's probably the best player in the world at 17. So, yeah, he's this generation's Messi anyway.
Celtic Symphony Coleman, a great servant. But yeah, I think he's gone now, unfortunately. Rolling Stone, is anyone here aware that the Evan has been carrying a patella tendon injury since 2023?
It's a nasty one.
Finally.
It's a bad one. I've had it. Big 2 years. I had chronic patella tendinitis, but I don't know whether his is chronic tendinitis or something like a actual tear or a major tear, but I'd need to look into that. It's a very nasty one for long term, but hopefully it's not as bad as Rolling Stone has made it out to be, because he said something about getting surgery on it. But no, hopefully Rolling Stone can answer whether it's an injury, like a tear or just tendinitis.
That's funny. Finally, a bit of reasonality now coming from James Agnew. Good man, James. Evening, lads. Hope all is well in relation to Ferguson. I definitely think going to move to another top European league next season will be a great move for him. A fresh start in a new environment might do him the power of good and rebuild his confidence and get him back amongst the goals. It worked for Part. Yeah, totally agree there. I saw another comment there. Yeah, James, of course, he writes on the website as well. Do check him out there. Voice of Reason, and he knows his stuff as well. He was the one that wrote all the stuff on the fanzine that we did for Bulgaria, while the two fuckers here did nothing. Jack O'Connor, is this a show about talking Irish players or a show hating on Colin McDowell because he has an English accent? Hate Colin McDowell.
We can do more than one thing on here, Jack.
Dean Flood witnessing the face turn of Rolling Stone. That's probably lost in you, Martin, isn't that reference? Yes, he is. He has seen the light.
He hasn't mentioned Lennon Miller once in this podcast, so we're on a roll.
Mm.
We are on a roll. Rolling Stone. Prendergast knows maybe a bit more than the average fan, but compared to pros, our knowledge or your knowledge on the game is a joke.
Cheers.
I think he means on fans in general, not on pros.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Winston Morris said, I doubt it is dead food. I think I'm Brady the guys going forward. Says Winston Morris. Good man, Winston. Is it?
Man, Winston. He was on
Was
last
Winston-
weekend with me and Prendy.
Welcome, Winston. It's my first time speaking to you. You're very welcome to the pod. Enjoying us on YouTube. I hope watching us as a subscriber. Jack Gunn, Dara Shady, Irish, Daily Blind. Not the most mega athlete, but uniquely good in aerial situations and quite excellent in possession. And also worth noting that he's a leader. Tractor boy. Says Jack O'Connor.
And by the way, wasn't he the second or third fastest player in the Premiership last season? Oh, Benny was number 1. He was either 2 or 3. So I wouldn't say he's unathletic like Daily Blind was very slow, but he still has got a bit of pace to him, definitely, if he was on record as that fast last season.
Sorry, I just some of the comments are fucking wild on this tonight. Yeah, and Stevens was the second fastest player in the Premier League in about 2020. Do you remember that? Yeah. Dean Flood, I don't dislike or doubt it, but I'm not bothered if we don't see him again, to be honest. Celtic Symphony, feels like everyone in this chat is taking the mick. The fuck did I just see about Dara O'Shea being a tractor? Maybe I'm too old for this. Tractor boy, Celtic, a tractor boy. Ipswich, that is their nickname, the Tractor Boys. Come on.
Yeah.
Fucking, has everyone been out in the sun today or what? This is a mad episode that we're having here. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the YouTube so you can get involved. Tell your friends about it. What else would you be doing on a Sunday night? We're all having a crack. Donny Nagel, Evan to Everton, Kelsey, Newcastle, Kelleher, Dara to Bournemouth, Azaz to Palace, and Parrott to PSV. Do you know what? Maybe the Everton bit I can't agree on, but yeah, I'd be all right with most of that. Jack O'Brien just tuning in. Disagree with Connor and Kelleher. He's been mediocre for a while now. In my household, we call him Queeveen the Ghost, like Casper, similar complexion too. Are you talking about Queeveen or are you talking about Connor? No. Yeah, okay. Baylor, my see 37-year-old Dave McGoldrick in the same division as prime age Colin without it shows the levels.
You have something to say about that, Mr. Prendergast?
Yeah, Martin, just you want to comment on your mate?
Love Ditsy. Loves him. Love Ditsy.
Yeah. Dean Flood, please God, Andy Moore move to the continent next season, loan or transfer. Yeah.
I don't think he'll get a transfer, by the way, because he actually signed in summer 2023. I think he signed a 4-year deal extension. And then summer 2024, he signed another 4-year deal extension because Hurster was such a fan of him in pre-season. But they wanted him to get another year of first-team football. So I don't know. I don't think they would sell him because he's too good of a player just to sell like that. I know it's not been the greatest 2025 one, but he's too good of a player to just sell like that. Plus, if you look at a Yari who's at Brighton, he's been playing now for Brighton regularly. Last season, he was at Coventry, did terribly. Then his loan got terminated, and then he went to Blackburn with Andy playing with each other, and he was just okay. He was just all right, and then he came back in the summer, and now he's in the Brighton first team. So things can change fast if he impresses in pre-season again.
Okay, Nick, Stoker fucking shite. Roddy Stone, I saw an interview about Andy Cole. I saw an interview about Andy Cole and what he thought about the fans' opinion. His response was hilarious. What did he say, Rolling Stone? Don't just leave us hanging. I want an answer to that, Rolling Stone. Although that was from an hour ago, so we've got a lot of comments here tonight, lads. So strap yourself in. Celtic Symphony, Donny Nagel. Why would Everton buy Ferguson when they have Bento and Lewin, who are stronger players? Dean Flood, Reims had a red card in midfield today. In midfield today, so Patrick will probably start next game. That's a point. Who else? Didn't Brighton have a red card in the fence as well?
Yeah, Harrison. I seen Harrison commented about John Paul Van Hecke got a red card.
Who's got their phone on vibrate? Is that you, Connor?
No, never.
No, not me.
Put on silent.
It's a message from Harrison Dalglish. Would you ever tell that Dave prick to shut up? What a horrible thing to say. No, Martin Harrison would never say such a thing. He's too nice. Okay to say that.
He's a very nice guy. Oh yeah, sorry. And Harrison, I genuinely didn't see that comment there, but yeah, you mentioned it there. Hi, Aaron Cash will be cashing in his first Premier League start next week, possibly with Paul van der Heck receiving a red card for Brighton. Thank you, Harrison. Any information like that? Roar faithful, fire
Adam
away.
Webster
But yeah,
must be injured, is he? Because he was playing with Van Hecke when Dunk was out. And then now Dunk was back, and now it's been Dunk, Van Hecke last weekend, and Webster wasn't on the bench. So I'm guessing Webster must be injured.
no idea. No idea. Nick Evan will not go to Everton. His hold-up play is not good enough to suit Moyes. His link-up play is better. Ronson, are you aware of Evan's injury? Platella?
You haven't told us, Rolling Stone.
Nope. Kieran Leog, sorry, Liverpool shite defence left Keller out to dry. He needs to get out of that squad ASAP. I mean, yeah, I do think he will be on the move, Kieran. I do think Liverpool, just very quickly, Liverpool, I do think, league is almost wrapped up, nothing else to play for. And I think some of the lads are on the holly bobs, and certain players like Andy Robertson, for a start, need shipping out of this big rebuild job at not United. Whether it's a massive one at United required, was a big rebuild job for Liverpool next season, in my opinion. Remind me of, would you agree, Martin? Liverpool right now is probably where United were in their last season under Fergie. Poor Premier League, but a lot of players that need to be, got rid of.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement needed, isn't there?
Out of your arse.
No, not really.
But I think
Robertson,
I just think I'm saddened for Klopp that they let him down so badly last year. The same team of players. He must be looking at that, thinking, how do we
City
so low? And to be fair, look, they've gone off from going to be the quad winners a month ago, and just going to win one now, is it, or whatever?
2 years are talking nonsense.
Shite. Oh,
That Liverpool team from this season was so much better than that 2013 United team. United still had Tom Beverley starting in that team. Liverpool, if Van Dijk, say for example, they keep Van Dijk, keep Salah, obviously Trent would be gone, but still the whole squad in general, they're still 1 to 11 bar, probably a top striker.
No,
that's what I'm saying. What are you on about? Call him. What you say?
You're saying the Hungary Klopp to try.
You've missed my point.
That's what I'm taking the piss. I'm taking the piss. Klopp's got to be
Yeah.
looking at that, thinking, how did they let me down so badly?
No.
I thought you were being serious. I just said, I was like, what are you
No.
No.
I'm taking the piss.
You
Jokers.
You did take the piss. No. You've missed my point.
He's sitting there on his Red Bull money, looking at it, thinking, "Oh, how did that happen?" But he's one of their greatest ever managers.
No, don't fucking put him up. Fuck him off. Get him off my screen, please.
I told you, dick.
Yeah, just you're gonna have a bit of fun, but like, yeah. No, what I was gonna say. No, my point is that like that was United team that was coming to the end. Like a lot of players have come to the end, like Ferdinand, like Vidic, and Ever. And this Liverpool team is the same. And they're kind of it's been a terrible league. So many teams off the boil. City off the boil. Spurs like are close to a relegation battle than anything, although they won't get relegated. And I just think it's kind of showing up now a little bit. And certain players need to be moved on. Some need to be rotated, like Van Dijk, etc. That's my point. Anyway, doesn't matter. If you look at Liverpool's team now, how many of them would even get in the 80 squad? Never mind the first 11. Yeah, I mean, this is not the strongest.
Probably
Liverpool.
all 20 of them.
No, it's not the strongest Liverpool team. That Liverpool team that Klopp did build in around that 2018, 2019, that was a beast of a team. It was just up against an even bigger beast of Man City. Happens. When United were winning all those championships in the 90s, had nobody to play against, really. And then when he did get a bit of competition, Arsenal, Chelsea. Danny Nagel, Celtic Symphony.
Fergie built a different team and still came back.
Well, he did, yeah, but
the Russian money.
Blackburn.
Yeah. Arsenal haven't won a league.
Norwich.
2003.
Villa, and
you still have to
beautiful. It's 12 years.
You still have to build a squad to compete.
12 years since Man United won a Premier League. And it's going to be funny. I can't wait till it's like 28 years, 29 years. I can wave it in your fucking face. Anyway.
Well, 25 years from 68 to 93. So
yeah, it happens. 30 years for Liverpool. But anyway.
Yeah.
Danny Nagel, Celtic Symphony, Calvert-Lewin leaving in the summer, and Beto misses more than he scores. Moyes would give him the chance he needs. Thank you. Jack O'Brien. Callagher needs to learn from the Mother Teresa. Close them legs. He's left fapping way too often. That's an analogy now. That's an analogy.
Yeah.
Oisin Fitzgerald. Nah, boys. Why not call up Boss Kevin Rocco for the next games. We are so bad anyway. Might as well give him a game.
Well, Rock will
Boston.
be called up anyway. He means Boston, and Kevin's Effie.
Okay, yeah. I
Bit
had
early
a
for
feeling. I was
Kevin.
like,
But I would
Yeah.
100% because it's looking likely there's going to be a camp in May for EFL lads, and I'm trying to figure out if there's any other league with Irish players that'll be in May, unless there's lads in the MLS maybe, depending on where we fly geographically. And I can't think because I was looking Premier League. No, will be too late or too early for that. And seeing what I looked at Holland or the Netherlands, it was the same. So I don't know. I think it could be just EFL lads will be possibly in that extended squad. But I think I'd throw Boston in it because the midfield for that squad would be quite weak, and we want to get him involved in the first team as soon as possible.
fair. Rolling Stone Keller might just be going through a bad spell. His talent should be in question. He is miles ahead of Pickford. Glenn Forbes. Hey lads, thanks again for a great show. Thank you, Glenn. Now here's a bit of water for under the bridge from Stephen Kenny's time in charge. What, in your opinion, was the biggest damage inflicted on the Irish squad under his reign? Thanks again from a cold but sunny Michigan. Good man, Glenn. I hope you're enjoying it. I'll go. The November window. I never talk about it. 2022, when he didn't pick a squad that hopefully Heimer will pick for the June camp. He basically shortened his own pool of players, or basically he tightened his own pool of players because he didn't give enough fringe players a go. And we were crying out for players that were on the fringes, like Liam Scales at the time, who went over, never played a second, and certain other players there as well. That from me. He was involved
Sammy
in that.
Schmodix for me. Sammy Schmodix.
Finizaz wasn't involved, but he just wasn't. Was never even considered type thing.
Yeah, and these were the players. It was against Malta and it was against Norway at home, Malta away. I went to the Malta game and it was depressing. And we only won because of a mistake by Malta. Callum Robinson finish. He just closed in on a mistake. And I think that did so much damage because he didn't experiment. And to be fair, that for me, lads, I don't know if you agree or not, but that for me kind of showed me, and I think several others,
what was yours, Martin?
Sammy Schmodix.
Just Sammy Schmodix is the answer.
No, that could be the whole.
No, he didn't bring him in, did he? No, he didn't bring him in, did he? Didn't bring him in. Kept leaving the squad. That kind of stuff.
Mine was just his loyalty to some players that he shouldn't have been loyal to. Your Jeff Hendricks, your Conor Howrahans, your Shane Duffys, your at a stage where he should have been moved on. There was a time that Finizal, I know he's League One, but he was tearing up League One as probably the best player in the league and wasn't getting picked. And even when Ryan Manning was at his best, he wasn't picking Ryan Manning. I know he can't.
Yeah.
But he was still doing better than our other left backs, club wise. Obviously, Sammy Schmodix should have been picked. It was just loyalty he had to players, like when Jeff Hendrick had completely gone off the ball, Conor Howard had completely gone off the ball, and he consistently kept picking them. But this squad, I do think he was unlucky in a sense. There was a lot of moments like Conor Howard missed an open goal against Slovakia in that playoff. Aaron Connolly. Who else had COVID? Was it Eda had COVID as well on that flight?
Yeah.
O'Dowda did, didn't he? It was a close contacts, wasn't it? It was, and they adhered to the rules at the time. Yeah. Really, that was farcical as well, to be honest.
They should have been allowed.
Yeah, but they should have been, yeah. And they then tested him a few days later and they were absolutely fine.
There was an element of unluckiness. There was an element of unluckiness with Kenny because he inherited probably the weakest Ireland squad in a long time in terms of inheriting a squad because there was no young players in the squad. It was all old players who were well past their prime. So he had to try and do that development phase of bringing players through. And because it's international football, it's probably going to take longer because there was no superstars to bring in. There was no young Evan Ferguson straight away to bring him in. It was Troy Parrott in League One. It was Adam Ida as a second choice at Norwich at the time. It was, who else did it have? Collins wasn't Collins. Dara wasn't the Dara we know now. So it was a lot of development, but obviously he should have done better in the end. We expected more, but it was just, I think, the loyalty to players that had done well from at the start. Like with Jeff Hendrick, Portugal away. I remember that game he played well then. And he just stuck by players that he shouldn't have stuck by in the end.
Yeah, I think the window showed you there was so much wrong with the Kenny era. Some that we tried to give him the benefit of the doubt here, and I took a lot of abuse for that on this page. Fair enough, I stand by it at the time. I could see what he was trying to do. And I remember the first Fox is having sex outside London. But basically, you can see what he was trying to do towards the end of the first campaign. And was improving. He thought, here we go. And then 2022, he did things and he didn't change. As you say rightly, Connor, he didn't change systems. He stuck with systems like Hendrick and playing a pivot with Hendrick and Cullen in midfield when it clearly wasn't working. We were getting overflooded. And you could see it. You could see it again in the game in Armenia. And he still didn't change. Or Azerbaijan, sorry. And he still didn't change it. And you're thinking, like, Jesus Christ, like, you're the manager. Do something. His substitutions were poor. He never made them, really, till about the 80th minute, and it wasn't working. Like, he really just didn't know what to do sometimes. And I like Stephen Kenny. He's a lovely man. He's a gentleman. He's a good football guy. But he just didn't know what to do. And you're thinking, change it. It's not working. And then the whole thing with the squad, like, it was just the whole thing was a bit of a mess in the end.
I'm surprised at you, Connor. I'm surprised at you. You haven't mentioned it. Letting Didsey go. Surely. That's the one, isn't it?
That's the point.
He should have convinced
Doesn't
Didsey to come back, I think. There was a
Doesn't wanna
convincing
talk
stage
about
where
it.
he could have convinced.
Remember
Remember we all thought Didsey was coming back at one stage because he deleted his retirement post on Instagram for some reason. And then he rang Didsey and then he said something. Didsey said his Instagram, I don't know, he lost it during COVID or something and deleted a lot of his posts.
Yeah.
But no, I think he should have done everything to get Didsey back. Slipped him a little bit of money on a brown envelope.
Jack O'Brien, pick for made, saved a century this weekend. However, I agree. Class A gimp. Just to let you know, your man Ramin Radcott, whatever the fuck his name is, he's banned. You're banned if you're watching. If you're gonna comment, you know, you want to take the piss, take the piss. You want to disagree with us, disagree with us. You know, you want to do whatever. That's fine. Jesus, no problem with that. But you're just gonna be a complete dickhead and just start slagging people off, whatever.
He'll be back next week.
He probably will. Well,
he's banned.
He's banned.
I think he'll be banned.
We'll just ban him every week. It's just like, if you're gonna like, we want everyone to have fun here. Like, have fun. Do you not mind? Take the piss, whatever. Couldn't care. Ask whatever you want. Disagree with us. Row at me to the moon. Couldn't give a shit. You just gotta come on and be a complete gimp. You're gonna get banned. Anyway, there you go. Oisin Fitzgerald. I know someone like Kevin's who told me Boss was struggling to fit in a Stoke, but I'd still call him up in June because he's better than Brown and Hendrick. Struggling to fit in? Have you heard that, Connor?
I guess struggle with fitness is what I've heard. Struggling to get to 100%, but I don't think fitting in is a problem. But hopefully he gets his chance sooner rather than later because he's a top talent. And I'd still call him up in June or for that May squad anyway and see how if he still doesn't get a chance at Stoke, just to see what his fitness is like. Because could you imagine him into that squad in May and just tore it up completely, and then we're looking like, what is Mark Robbins doing that he wasn't playing him at Stoke? And then he might come in and, because the thing is, if you play well in that May games, you've automatically put yourself in a chance of getting called up the next month or the next probably 2 weeks after to get in for Senegal and Luxembourg. So no, I think we have to pick him.
Fair enough. Why don't you move up to Stoke with him? Make him a chuck pot.
I'm not moving to Stoke.
Make him feel at home there. Rolling Stone, Piper can't catch the ball. He is 5 foot and he unsettles defenses with his shouting and antics. His ball distribution is shit. Rolling Stone, these lads don't seem to realise that poor Evan has a long time injury. I think they do now, Rolling Stone. You can stop saying it.
It's told everyone.
I thought it was an hour ago. Hey, all, I'm an Irish American who is trying to get into the Irish football scene. I would love to hear your thoughts on the US national team lack of attendance and the recent CONCACAF games. How do they engage fans? Well, yeah, they lost to
Panama.
Costa Rica, didn't they? Panama, sorry.
Lost 2 games in a row.
Mexico as well. I know your man's the manager over there, isn't he? Pochettino. I think the problem you have there, Roman, is obviously I was listening to this on TalkSport, and it's very difficult to get any decent games for friendly, especially against European teams, because they're all in the Nations League, aren't they? So there's no real window for friendlies because all the friendly windows are all taken up by the Nations League.
For sure.
And people say the glorified friendlies, but they're not really. And you only get the odd little window, like in June. Maybe will these boys in Green be going to America? We don't know. We've heard whispers of it, but absolutely nothing confirmed. So I think that's the problem you have there, Roman. I think football as well. Also, the MLS season, I believe, is under a paywall, isn't it? Apple TV is exclusive to Apple TV. So there's probably that lack of interest. It's happening everywhere. Also, any sport that goes behind a paywall is very difficult, especially in this time of not financial crisis, cost of living crisis. People don't have the money. They're probably already subscribed to watch the Premier League. It'd be like if you put the League of Ireland behind. I know League of Ireland is not really behind a paywall, is it? Like you pay for an app, but they have a weekly game free. I don't.
What
Do you pay?
correlation does this have to the US men's national team got to do with the MLS, Dave? I think you're just ranting on here, to be honest. About he's not all about the MLS. He's on about literally just the US men's national team.
Yeah,
Just about the national team,
but
not about the
that's
club
what I'm
team.
saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like
You're
if they're
engaging
not,
the fans, though, aren't you? They're not
Yeah, but
engaging
there's
their
no-
local league.
There's
That's
no
my
real,
point.
I don't think there's any real link in America. Can be a bit. It is kind of what Ireland was like maybe 10, 15 years ago when the League of Ireland and Irish team really had no link. People who went to League of Ireland games had no interest in the national team. Well, it kind of is a bit like that sometimes.
Yeah,
at
but
the moment.
well, the question I want to know, and before you quite rudely interrupted me, but yeah, the point is everything's behind a paywall. You know, so that's going to lead to dwindling attendances, and obviously the US team aren't particularly good at the moment because they're not getting decent opposition. They're not. I mean, who the fuck wants to watch them against Panama or Mexico? It's been done to death. They want to watch them against maybe in England, maybe in Ireland. I don't know. So there's lots of issues there as well, and the fact that their domestic league is behind a paywall, and they're and like the rest of the world, they're having a cost of living crisis. That's why the orange prick got in the. I'm not talking about you, Martin. The other orange prick.
We're not
got in
about you, are we?
because of the cost of living crisis in America. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it there. So, Dean Flood not the greatest week for forwards. If Sheffield United go up, Tom Cannon will 100% be loaned out. Totally agree there. Celtic Symphony. I'll give you an update on Irish attackers. They're all mediocre. Incognito. If Ferguson's bad form continues next season, then maybe I'll worry. But most players have a terrible second season. I think he'll be fine. Once he gets, and I think you're right, Connor. I do think once he gets a proper preseason under his belt, I think he'll be fine. Jack O'Connor, the championship is still the main window for the Premier League clubs to shop in. I would be advising young Irish players to move to the EFL because it's mint. Effing mint. Glenn Forbes, also thoughts on new kits for the women's team. I love the away kit. I think it's lovely. Yeah.
Really
Home
nice.
one, I don't like the collar on that. It's very don't like the collar. It's very 90s.
And I mean, we should say actually, well done to the women's team. That's a fantastic result the other day, 4-0 against Greece. That was a great result.
Yeah, well done.
And very brave of the manager to not start Katie McCabe.
Who doesn't get into arguments, according to Katie McCabe.
Yeah.
Only suspended for the next game for getting a yellow for getting in an argument.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't.
What was the reason she wouldn't start? I didn't see. What did she say the reason was starting, or was it?
I didn't see, to
Oh.
be honest. But I just thought it was a bit brave of her not to.
Maybe she was carrying an injury, Martin, or she didn't want her to get the second yellow to be suspended for the game this week. But
There's a Twitter account, isn't there? Has Katie McCabe got a yellow card yet or something?
is there? Yeah.
Rowley Stone, this yank probably has an Irish granddaddy from the 1300s. Don't we all? Jack O'Brien, Emma sitting on the bench while that German pirate comes on to save the day for them. Disaster. Oisin Fitzgerald, is this Bill from Twitter? I thought you left Twitter, bud. Yes. That was his response to that. Nice day to speak positively about me. Yes, he said he was leaving. Dean Flood, I would like to see him go somewhere in Europe next season after, rather than dropping to the champ. Roman Shaw, Evan Ferguson is a certified baller. His time will come. Patience is key, in my opinion. Good man. Yeah. Roman, Jack O'Brien, Baller League comes soon for Evan.
That Baller League's a little crap, by the way. It's just terribly. Have you seen it? It's crap. The thing with all the YouTubers, is the managers and stuff. I don't have a problem with that. It's just the way it's. I think it's a terrible league. The Kings League, the thing Aguero done, or PK does, is actually really good, but not this Baller League. The Baller League's crap.
Okay. When's Benny back, men? He's the poster boy player. Serious Minerals. When is he back?
When's he back, Martin?
I don't know, but I did see on Ipswich did message something about that he's an ambassador for some charity.
Yeah, he's a disability
foundation.
Fair play to him.
Fair play to him. Yeah.
No, but I think he will be back. He got injured in October. I would guess. My calculated guess would be he will be back playing football in June time. June, he'll be back playing. Well, he'll be fit enough to be probably training wise, but obviously he's not fit enough, so he won't come into. He won't be. I don't think he'll come into the Ireland squad. I don't think Ipswich would be too happy. So I think he'll be fully fit though to go at it for pre-season. But unfortunately, it's going to be a season in the Championship again because no one's going to sign him after not playing basically the whole year.
Fair. Dean Flood, where would Adam go? Adam?
God knows.
Who's Adam?
Either. We only talk about him for 15
clip
minutes.
that. Clip that.
Oh, piss off.
Flip that.
I don't know. Someone. Jack O'Connor. No, he's doing well up there in Scotland. Flex move in the summer. He seems to be riding on the bench in Zurich.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he needs to move.
Gary Breen made great points, says Rolling Stone, about Nathan Collins. He's the type of defender who will only look good in a really well-coached side. I think that's most players, to be honest with you. Rolling Stone. They're overcoached. Nick Evan still looks far from match fit. His hold-up play has been poor and he doesn't put his body about enough. His link-up play has been quite good, though. He's got the stuff. No. Oisin Fitzgerald. It's good to see Ida play for the biggest club of Scotland. Yup. Baylor. that was said at 10:37 p.m. I'd imagine as we get a bit later into the comments, we're probably going to get pelters for slagging off Celtic. We weren't slagging them off, just the league. Baylor, Ida to go Belgium or Netherlands. Jack O'Brien, PK Humble behind Evan. He might finally score a goal.
He's in the Baller League.
Okay. Rolling Stone, it's not Evan's fitness. It's an injury, says Ron. Why won't anyone listen to Rolling Stone?
Rolling Stone, what's that injury?
What is that injury, Rolling Stone? Tell them, they need to know. Dean Flo, speaking of moves, Luke O'Connell finally stepping up to the Championship.
Yeah, he has to.
I mean, Barnsley are shit. Celtic 70. Connor says strikers need to be loved. Ball schnitzel, says Celtic 70. The best players don't give a rat's who's in the dugout. They play with a chip on the shoulder no matter what. Look at Vardy and Rooney. Thanks. O'Brien. Adam should become a model. Tall, dark, and handsome. Also shy at football. Fucking hell. Winston Morrison, Ida needs to study Ditsy highlights. He was a real baller, younger, but the champ sucked it out of him. You are. Aaron Gubbins. Well, that's a great show again. Good man, Aaron. What would you do if you were in Andrew Bombadilli's position? I would say I would stay there. Really enjoyable and very young, exciting team to watch. And Rosenior, sorry, easy for me to say, likes Andy. Yeah, I'd say stay.
They have an option to buy, so I think he should sit there.
Why
Champions
not?
League football. I think they'll get Champions League.
Yeah, and he's a good coach for senior. He got bombed out of Hull, but it's because the owner's an absolute lunatic. Very good coach. Yeah, no, stay. Aaron Gubbins, Champions League is a real possibility for Strasbourg. Hopefully they get it. Roman Shaw, Celtic 70, Ida Ferguson, our young strikers Vardy and Waza were anomalies. And Vardy didn't become great until he was 27. Ferguson, Ida needed trust from their head coach man. Ida. I'm just gonna tell him Ida just to piss you off.
Yeah, I don't know why Celtic Sipney used Vardy an example. It's a weird one to use because no one knew who he was until 27, 28. So
yeah.
No, but I think it's just too early to really make them sort of opinions on these sort of players.
Fair. Jack O'Brien ran down the channel, get him in the boats with the Medal Brothers. With the Gold Medal Brothers.
He's on the two lads from Cork, the Roars in the Olympics, the one a gold medal.
Oh yeah. Celtic 70, Mr. O'Brien, enough jokes for one night. Christ. Aaron Gubbins, do you see Troy getting a bigger move? Lads probably needs another season or two, doesn't he, in the Eredivisie?
Probably one more season, but no, I wouldn't be surprised if he went this year though.
Yeah. Jack O'Brien, yeah, he can upgrade on his current girl. What? Oh god. Winston Morrison, Ida, I know is the Mr. Price. Isak, find your feet, Adam. Fair. Jack O'Brien. Speaking of Jake O'Brien, he runs like he's off to solve a mystery with that Scooby-Doo fella.
He has got a very strange stride.
Maybe because he's 6'5".
Yeah. No. But he doesn't look as if he's like flat out, but because he has.
Oh yeah, for sure. Wan-Bissaka doesn't look like he's sprinting when he runs, but certain players are just like that.
He looks like he's got no. Rory Soda, I think Potter isn't playing him because he's angry that Brighton did tell him about his patella injury.
What injury?
Patella. Newark, are you in an earthquake zone, David? Your background keeps shaking. Well, you know, I do move mountains. Yeah, it's a bit. I know. I'll sort it. Jack O'Connor, I see Ruckavada's future as an 8 or a 10. He looked lost as a winger at the weekend. He's got those jelly legs to play centrally. Do you agree, Connor? Yes or no?
He can play as an 8, or not as an 8, more of a 10, not an 8.
Jack O'Brien, Evan has all his teeth, so who's the real winner? Aaron Gubbins. Do you see Nathan Collins leaving, and do you think he's underrated in the Prem? Any chance of a top 6 move? Well, Collins going to say fucking yes, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Rolling Stone, Vata doesn't have the pace to be a winger.
That's where he plays, though.
Jack O'Brien, Newcastle, I reckon, Aaron, on Nathan Collins. Dean Flood, Defo beat a poor year, but I'll tell you, lads, I have a good feeling about summer moves for the players next season. It's a great Irish comeback, I hope. Stephen O'Rourke, Stephen Ireland is a joke on my comments about coming back, having a super preseason like he did many years ago. Yeah, but he was a fabulous player. He really could have been one of the greats. He was superb for a very short spell. I mean, those levels he had, if he had kept them up. Vata Essen football
Season.
Okay, what is that?
It's short. It's a shortened version of season. Best said in.
What?
Got to get down with the kids now, Dave. Come on.
Yeah. Do you think it might be a good idea for Fergie to come back to League of Ireland to find his feet again? Oh, fuck off.
Great idea, yep.
Rolling Stone, Collins is a great club defender, shite international defender. He makes too many mistakes. Nick, not sure you get much game time as Leverkusen, either unless they sell Schick and Boniface. Alfie Keneally, Evan Ferguson, he's training one-to-one, Connor, with the lads in Dublin. I'm sure you know them. They will get him back up to speed. Sinclair and many others train with them.
Yeah, they're really good, in fairness. But I don't think that would be the difference now of him becoming a top player or not, is one-to-one coaching when he's at the off-season.
Rolling Stone, how do these guys not know about Evan's long-term patella injury? Or his patella injury? Stephen at work, I think it's the games against Bulgaria. We showed some promise and showed the never give back that we haven't seen in many years. Agree there. Roman Shaw Cullen is similar to Cazorla with the ball, impossible to press and optimally dynamic in the first phase, but not unstoppable in the final third. He needs to control games for you, not dictate attacks. Baylor, get Evan to link up with Ditsy over the summer and they can have a rocky training montage. Glenn Forbes, disagree with the Ida assessment still. The fact he's scoring goals, even if it's only as a super sub, the fact he's getting games and getting Champions League level experience are elements our squad is lacking. I hope he can break into the first team of Scales and get back in. We've so few players competing at Champions League level. I feel the experience that brings to the squad is vital. You've got a point there, but I still asking a lot of questions. Kieran, harsh saying Parrott isn't having a great club season. No, to be fair, it was more of an oversight than anything, Kieran. No, we do agree. Needs to lose a bit of timber. So Jack O'Brien, who's that on?
About Evan.
I
think.
Yeah, probably not because you're not match fit. I mean, wait, not the Arsenal fullback. Hey, the worst move for Collins would be to leave Brentford, says Donny. Keep building and progressing for another season and then maybe move. Okay, yeah. Don't worry, he's gone now. Winston Morrison, Evan and Moran to Bundesliga. Oisin Fitzgerald, Bundes is a worse league than the Champo. Winston, proper Farmers League. Not as much as. Oh, no. That, by the way, sorry, I put it up there just for context. That was not at Winston. That was at the bloke that got banned. So I'm not throwing Oisin under the bus there. Vata is our only hope. Play him as a 10 instead of as said Rolling Stone. Donny Nagel, can't wait for Evan to come back and haunt Potter next season with a winning goal leading to a sacking. Oh, yes. Oisin Fitzgerald, his ass is proper sick though. What's wrong with him? Is he ill?
No, he's sick baller, man.
He's a sick baller. What? Like he I don't know. He likes to club seals or something.
Stop talking waffle, will you? Just
fucking sick. Jerry's such bollocks in your life, Martin. I hate that expression.
Always swears, isn't he, Martin? No manners. He doesn't respect people. He's going to be in a very multicultural society in London and people saying these different words, and you can't accept it. That's racism at its finest.
No, it's not. It's fucking. I'm just defending the English language. Jack O'Brien.
It's in the dictionary.
Yeah, but it's not meant like that.
More than one context.
Jack O'Brien, Jack O'Brien, look at Justin Kluivert, wonder kid, but now 25 and killing it. Roll on 2030 when Evan finds himself.
By the way, is Jack O'Brien reading Jack O'Brien in 2025 hard for you to do without just thinking Jake O'Brien instantly when you see the name? Without saying Jake O'Brien? You know what I mean?
Nope, because I can read. Roman Shaw, I see Cullen's future as a second phase, number 8. Though Heimer using him in the 6 won't get the best out of his game. He's tenacious, but he lacks the physicality to hold down the midfielder in a single pivot. Jack O'Brien, Troy Parrott, is he clinical enough? 0.78 XG versus Feyenoord and no goal to show, but let's appreciate his overall game. One of the best half-space threats in Europe and a byline magnet. Connor, translate, please.
He's saying that.
For Martin, obviously.
There was a 78% chance he should have scored or something against Feyenoord. But he is right though that
paying attention, Martin.
I'm editing somebody's comments. To be honest,
he's right in saying that. He's right in saying that. Parrott needs to be more clinical. That's the only thing really he needs to really work on, because everything else, to be honest, is really at a very high level. It's just been more consistent. I wouldn't say it's just been more consistent because he is clinical in front of goal. But instead of maybe scoring one-on-ones 7, or I'd say he scores 5 out of 10 one-on-ones, he needs to get that up to 7 or 8, because you're never going to score every one. But you need it to be more often than not. It seems to be 50-50 when he goes through and goal these days.
Fair enough. Going to try and wrap this up, lads, in the next 8 minutes. Loads of comments coming in. We're going to try and get through them. Rolling Stone, Cullen is shit as his night. Small bones are only half decent midfielder. Way, one for the cousin Will. Jack O'Brien, Roman Cullen's future lies elsewhere. 5-4 playing in the 6. Give me a break.
He's not 5-4.
Roman Shaw.
5'4", is he?
No, he's like
5'4". Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, he's trying to say he's 5'4". He's not 5'4".
5'4", is he? Jesus, yeah.
No, he means like he's a 5 or a 4 playing in the 6, like you said.
Oh, he means
5'4". He means 5'4".
Jesus Christ!
Give me a break, Jesus.
He means 5'4".
Romy Shaw, Cullen's best asset is his forebrain. Forebrain? What? I thought
there's some of this stuff.
Helps him think quicker than 90% of the players on the pitch, despite only having half the athleticism of Knight, for example. He's crucial in this upcoming campaign.
That is true.
Roman Shaw, the USM MNT lacks a baller like him. Fair enough, Roman. Ushin Fitzgerald, nah, man.
This is about who's been to the games or where you go.
So Ushin hasn't been to a game. Jack O'Connor, yes, I'm a season ticket holder in 518. Good man, Jack. Why is your profile a 14-year-old? Asked Jack O'Brien.
That's right about Roman.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not.
Is it not?
He's on about Cavan Sullivan, who's that profile picture for.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Dean Flood, to be fair, if you had to scrap anyone on the pod, Martin would be the last choice. Looks like he has dad strength. Wow.
Dave's the fire on our pod, I think.
He's volatile as all.
He is volatile. And he works
volatile.
at security, don't you? So you know how to handle yourself, Dave.
He says he does.
I do. Well,
he looks after Tom Cruise.
As long as you talk a good game, most people will be scared of you. So,
yeah,
I am a good game. Actually,
look after Tom Cruise, things like that, don't you?
Oh yeah. Do you know he's met these celebrities in the West End? So he's great, isn't he?
It's actually a video. No, never mind. No comment. We don't talk about jobs on this. Rolling Stone, if Cullen had a football brain instead of a forebrain, he might actually be a player. Amazing. That is quote of the night. Martin looks like Tommy Dillon from Fair City. I don't. That's usually the worst opinion to come out of Martin's mouth. That was the one about Evan Ferguson going to Celtic.
Dave, Bill doesn't have a good relationship with Celtic fans. That's all I have to say.
He doesn't have a good relationship with any fans, let's be honest. Not even his own fans. Jack O'Connor, hi. Jack O'Connor, hi, Irish Football Blog. Your account is mint. Fucking hell, the amount of wannabe managers in this chat is weird to Celtic Symphony. Just take the ball, pop it off, get it in the mixer, sniff out a chance to take it. That's what I grew up on, for fuck's sake. Do you float out? Watching the Scottish is like watching paint dry. 80% of titles won by 2 teams, complete lack of entertainment and quality.
80%, that's 100%.
No, because you would have had the new firm, which was Dundee United and Aberdeen.
Yeah, but how long ago was that?
That would have been the 80s.
Yes.
Fergie broke it in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in modern times, it's 100%.
No, but you didn't say modern times. So did you? Just 80% of titles won. It's there in front of you.
Oh, shut up.
Martin, high five. We got the kid.
Yeah.
Just fucking do as you're told, son. Can't subscribe because of me dad's account, says Oisin. Mom,
Subscribe
make sure.
to your dad.
Yeah, subscribe for your dad. Doesn't cost you anything. Jack O'Brien, the only thing our striker sniff is coke, and that's the problem.
Jesus.
That's just not apart from that. We do not condone that comment, by the way. Harrison Daglish, Ferguson Celtic. Jesus, cop on. Yeah, I know Harrison. You know what I mean? Fucking Martin there. Max, think Ferguson should go abroad. Bundesliga seems a good move, but I feel like he could do well in Italy. No, young players in Italy. No.
No. The thing is, he would do well in Italy. He would score goals for fun. Strikers always do well. Even I think Adam Meada would actually do quite well in Italy. It's just young players going to play academy football in Italy, they fall apart. Or if they're like they're like a Rocco Vata, who's a real like a talent, like a real skillful player that like you want to express themselves, they would take the expression out of their game, sort of thing. But if you're a striker who's really good in the penalty box, they'll score goals for fun.
You do well in any league. Ferguson, so I think it's a special talent, but I just don't want to go near Italy.
Yeah,
John Martin looks like Tommy Dillon from First City. Dave, your favorite show? God. Good old First City. Rolling Stone. Excuse me. Breen made an interesting point about international teams. None of them can defend long balls. Go long. Celtic 70 agreed. Harrison, he's above Scottish scruff ball, says about Ferguson. Jack O'Brien, Ferguson should treat himself to a pender in Ibiza. He'd burn the extra weight off in no time. He's an absolute clown. Spoof for the highest order, says Bill. Who's that about?
No, then two down from that. Damien, not Martin. He's on about Damien Delaney.
Damien Delaney.
Fair.
Not me.
John, I've already answered those questions.
Martin Delaney, he means.
Adam Curtis, did anyone see the Women's Ireland game Friday? Gone. It was a great second half performance. Good thinking by the manager to bring McCabe and Shiva on for an instant impact role on Tuesday. You did, Martin, didn't you?
Got bits of it, yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Good stuff. Harrison Daglish, Jeff Hendrick was a super player. He's the last midfielder we've had who can fizz the ball around the pitch. He recently signed for Derby and the manager said he's still quality. Yes, those 2-inch passes got flying along, getting those stats up. John, Jeff Hendrick wouldn't even get in Martin's Enfield Town team. Do you play in the Mead League, Martin? Martin, there's only chance you can sign Ditsy for your team or a Dowda. Well, man, maybe the latter might be. Jack O'Brien McCabe should start for the men's team. So Jack O'Brien, Irish Football Blog, Calgary United. Would you stop? Would you stop? Irish Football Blog, you guys need a Corkman correspondent because some of these opinions are well. Oh yeah, and bringing a Corkman into the mix is gonna fucking sort that, isn't it? Dean Flood, where do you think Joe Hodge and Conor Coventry will be next season? Quickly, Conor
Coventry, I think he'll step up the championship. Hopefully, Joe Hodge goes abroad.
Fair enough. Matt K. Abawanka.
What?
I don't even know. He said a banquet. Fuck's sake. I'm sorry if you're watching, James. I do apologize.
Yeah, he's watching.
2 hours in. 2 hours in. He's watching.
Let me tell you something. You don't know. You don't know who's watching this pod. Genuinely, you don't know who watches this.
Oh yeah,
yeah. To be fair, I've had a few. We've had a few taps on the shoulder. Off air. A banquet. Sorry, a banquet is average, Connor. He's average.
He had a bad game, fairness. He had a tough game. He made a bad mistake for first goal, but he's not average. Don't worry.
Dean just been aiming anyone. Jack O'Connor, Anana's probably the best long baller goalkeeper in Europe. Never seen so many accurate launch balls in my life from a goalkeeper. How would Kelleher start over him because he can actually save a ball? Jack O'Brien, you think Tuchel gives a shit where Jordan Ibe is moving to? Alex, I heard Lowell is signing for Enfield. Just wait, Jack. I'll start talking about the League Two, lads. Dean Flood to Jack O'Connor. Enough of the Celtic bashing, says go on. Well, that was from about an hour ago. Is that a joke about Lowell? Is it? I think so. About going to Enfield. Says Rolling Stone. Baylor, what is this woke nonsense? Why am I getting ads on the stream now? Getting ads? Do you get ads on the stream now?
Martin, you're trying to claim more money off people, Mr. Delaney.
Is that a thing? Sorry, guys. we genuinely don't know that there's ads now coming up on the stream. Okay. We didn't know that. So
there should be Lansdowne ROAR ads. At least it's not ads of Dave begging you to write for our team. But
but just let us know by the time we get to the end of the comments. Is that a thing? A lot of are all you getting ads on the stream? Unless you're a prime, a premium subscriber. But if that's the case, then we're probably not going to do that next time. So we just weren't aware because obviously we don't watch our own.
Yeah.
Nick, Ram should have had a penalty at the end and it started a massive scrap. It was class. Alex, 2 Irish lads lining up against each other in the league. Imagine being told that 3 years ago. Yeah. Rolling Stone, what about that? Aaron Maloney lad in Spain. Very quickly in there, Connor.
Aaron Cho Maloney, yeah, he's doing well. Balaga came on after 60 minutes, I think, came on today. Very good player. He'll be in the 21s. Extremely likely in June if you're playing first team football. He's a top talent.
Nice. Charlton shafted a lot of our more skillful players, says Rolling Stone. Jack O'Brien, I mean, Ferguson doesn't deserve to start. Ferguson's been poor. Why can't we talk when he's been poor? We are talking.
I don't know why he is poor though. Why is like what is he injured?
Clearly not fit.
He's not really been that poor. He's just not playing.
He's not had an injury though, is he? Just teeing this up.
No. Has he had an injury?
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So might have to eventually get sorted out. Tell it to fix it. Dean Flood, God forbid you were a skillful Irish player in years past, like Woes, because our managers are going to shaft you. Agree? Matt K, you haven't got a clue, David. FDS. Is that for fuck's sake, is it? You want every young Irish player babied. He's been poor. Couldn't start at Brighton as well. He's been injured, Matt. That's the point. He's been injured, and that's what we're trying to get across here. He's been injured. He wasn't even when he was at Brighton with his injury. He hasn't had a pre-season, don't forget. Also, when he was at Brighton, he was only coming on for 2-3 minutes at a time. So he's not even getting eased in. So he's been injured. And now Potter, I think, has thrown him to the Wolves. So there you go. He was good for Ireland. He scored a great goal. Just saying. Oisin, and I don't want every Irish player to be babied. In fact, if you've been listening to the podcast, you would have known that. I think I've said about a lot of Irish players should grow up, should think for themselves and not having to be coached all the time, like some players. But anyway, Oisin Fitzgerald. Huh?
O'Dowda.
Yeah. Oisin Fitzgerald, he could start at Brighton, Matt. Stop lying. Good man, Oisin. Full Krug has 3 goals and 4 shots on target. He scores goals, says Jack. Ed M. When how do you say that?
Jokeres.
Leeds Sporting in the summer, Ferguson would be perfect replacement.
Ooh.
From 52 goals to 52 minutes, Sporting fans would be furious. Martin appears spent half the day in the sunbed. Celtic Symphony. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Dave is English? No. I was born and bred in Dublin, you cheeky. Jack O'Brien, Emmanuel is a very classy defender, late bloomer. Connor, why do you say Stoke are very poor? Every week I watch the manager has adopted well to a poor group of players. That's why he says they're poor because they have a poor group of players.
They're poor.
You kind of answered your own question there, Jack.
I've watched. The only thing is, Jack, if you watch them every week, they are still a poor team. Like watch them, they are extremely tough on the eye to watch. They are dreadful. Like that's why Moore doesn't suit the team because he just wants physical midfielders that suit his style.
Do you play direct football? What's the issue, Moore? Should adopt because he's not a direct footballer. Like
that's why I keep saying he's score abroad because the championship's just not the league for him.
Yeah, it can be very hard for technical players like Moore to adapt to route football, says Rolling Stone. Joe 123452. Jaime's contract set to expire in December. Should we offer him a 2-year extension before then, or do you think O'Shea's already been promised a gig next to save money? I don't know. If that's the case, Martin, yours, mate.
Yeah.
No, look, we can't. The FAI won't go to an extension now yet, will they? Because
what'll happen?
Any World Cup qualification.
What'll happen is we will qualify second place and we'll go to a playoff next March. I'm guessing the playoff is, and Heimer will be given an extension until March. I'd imagine his deal is until the World Cup qualifiers end.
Yeah,
that's what it will be. So there'll be an automatic extension to March. I'd guess the way these deals work, considering the way the situation is, and then he will. We will decide from then on in. But,
and if we're out of qualification contention, he'll be gone before then because they'll just cut the contract and then John O'Shea will come in and do it interim again.
I know. I think he'll finish out the qualifiers no matter what. But I think that if we don't even get to a playoff, I think he'll definitely be gone. I still think if there is a lot of improvement. Say we get to the playoff and we lose to Greece in the playoff final, the stupid way they have it now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they will probably give him the job still for the next Euros, because you're kind of like, that's a massive improvement from where we've been at. But
Yeah. Look,
we need to qualify.
and that answers Dean Flood's question. If you don't qualify the World Cup, should time we get an extension? Yeah, I think so. Well, look, no, sorry. It's the context. If like we're competing and we get done by goal difference, or we get to the playoff and we lose narrowly, it's an improvement. It's a massive improvement where we've been. So yeah, it depends. If we're just shit and we're already gone after 3 games, then you see out the rest of the contract, and then he goes. And then
I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Go on.
The next Ireland manager is going to be. You can clip this. Lee Carsley.
Okay.
I think he's going to be that. I just have a funny feeling.
I'll go. It'll be John O'Shea.
Oh God of Almighty!
We
can't deal. You're getting kicked off this podcast. I'm making an executive decision from all the shareholders that you're gone if he gets
good.
Up.
He's got Lee Carsley, not a hope in hell. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want to be a senior level manager. He doesn't want it.
Well, I heard things.
He can't handle it.
He said, "Yeah, just wait."
Yeah, I mean, we heard that years ago. No, he broke my heart. We before you joined this podcast, and I'm not having a go, Connor. Before you joined this podcast, we all thought it was going to be Carsley.
So did I.
Everyone did, and then nah. Aaron Gibbons, why is everyone having a go? Apparently, he wouldn't be on this if he wasn't a proud Irish supporter.
There you go.
I guess it's Irish banter.
Oh yeah, soul. Well answered.
Yeah, it's all a bit of crack. We love Martin ish. Harrison Dalglish, hi Rolling Stone. It seems Ferguson has suffered his tendon injury in the game. He scored his hat trick. Remember, he pulled out of the Ireland camp after it, and then he played next week for Brighton. Yeah. Dean Flood, Brenny's my favourite member of the pod. I'm very jealous of the jersey collection. Oh, Dean! Thought we were friends, pal. I mean, look at this. Rolling Stone, he had the injury before the hat trick. Kenny mentioned it. It's been a long-term problem. What was it, Rolling? What's wrong with him? Sponsoring an English team, but he hates English. Doesn't make sense. That's John. Yeah, I know. Against poor Prendy. Ryan, really looking forward to Senegal game in June, but tickets are stupid price again. Half empty stadium again. Rolling Stone, he basically said it was like hiring a plumber and then telling him how to do the job. He said our opinion has much value as dog shit. If none of our players catch fire. Okay. Talk is Rich. Hi lads, hope you're keeping well. Good man, Talk is Rich. I was wondering, are you considering doing a prediction show of where you all think each of the players will play at the beginning of next season? Okay.
We can do it.
Let's do it. Good to hear that Connor is the Kenny basher, Rolling Stone. Oh, not really Kenny bashers, Rolling Stone. Martin hates him. But we just wanted it. We just wanted to work for him. It just didn't. And we gave him every chance, and then it didn't work. And we call it the reasons why it didn't. That's what we do. Alfie Keneally, Evan Ferguson needs to go and train.
We've already read this one.
We have.
Come to it twice.
But just on Stephen Kenny there. I don't know if I ever told you. When he came over to a Risk London meeting once, I collected him at City Airport. Did I tell you this?
No.
And so I basically had a chat for about an hour with him on the journey. It was great crack. Really lovely fella. Very insightful and lots of things. Not just football chatting, just really good lad.
I think he's a lovely fella. Absolutely.
Are we getting a top manager? No matter what no one says, it just didn't work out. Brilliant. One job doesn't define you.
No.
Yeah. No, I agree. Rolling Stone, we're getting overrun in midfield under Heimer. What has changed? Senegal are pretty good. They are actually 17th in the world, 16th in the world. Adam Curtis, like to see midfield 3 of Patrick. John Patrick, Smallbone, and Azaz. Rolling Stone, who are we playing out to Senegal? Luxembourg away. That midfield has no ball retention. That would be a pretty decent midfield. What happened with the over 40 World Cup thing? Teams. Don't know.
I think that is happening. It is the Saudi World Cup is going to be over 40, I think, isn't it?
Isn't there a tournament they're trying to do? No? Where they're going to be like legends. That's not what he means, no?
Peter, put it in the comments because I know you're still on. Do you mean over 40 or do you mean an extended tournament? Because I think there's maybe like a 48 team.
Yeah, there's 48 things happening, but no, I think it's there's a like legends kind of basically. They were looking at old players.
Rolling Stone, are we even capable of beating either Senegal or Luxembourg? I'm not so sure. Glenn Forbes says, you're all Irish. Celtic Symphony Martin, English jokes are childish.
Just to give context, Rolling Stone on Luxembourg. Luxembourg finished. They finished third, didn't they? Finished third or fourth, in Bulgaria's group in the Nations League. So that puts where they are level wise. And Baylor says over 40 years.
Okay. Adam Curtis says McCabe apparently picked up a knock in the Champions League game against Real Madrid. Worse than after the game in the interview was just what half they wanted to start in. I was just what half. She was going to play 45 minutes. Our football blog. Owen, let's keep it, Gerald, at me while you're at it. Rolling Stone, could anyone actually see Heimer playing in midfield with Small, Patrick Finn and Izaz? I'd be surprised if he did. I don't think he sees a midfield as a problem. Joe says silver line to Evan not racking up 40 plus games a year through late teens. Every other player he joined on that youngest Prem hat-tricks list suffered poor longevity. Owen, Fowler, Rooney, Bart Williams. It's a good point. Burnt out too quickly. No, Glenn Forbes, even you know that's not true. John, probably about us all being Irish. Rolling Stone, Colin similar to Cazzola. That is funny. Nick Cazzola was a fraud. Cullen, clear in my opinion. Cullen the Irish Cazzola. Rolling Stones having a good chuckle at that. The sheer presence of Cazzola in the tunnel will scare the bejesus out of the hungry lads.
You probably don't even know who Santi Cazzola is, do you?
Of course I do.
Who do you play for?
You Santa Claus in Spain.
Who do you
Fucking
play
Arsenal. I
Who
know he
else?
played. What was the team? He had a gash in his leg. He was a lovely player. Can't think of the team he played for in Spain, but no, of course I fucking know he played for Arsenal. He was a lovely player in the midfield, a ball playing midfielder, and then he had a leg injury.
He nearly had to retire, he said.
Huh?
He nearly had to retire. I couldn't walk because of it, he said.
Yeah, no, he almost lost his leg, actually. Had a gash in his leg, almost lost it, and then went back and then started.
It was Villarreal.
Villarreal.
He one of the most two-footed players I've ever seen.
Yeah, I see you cheeky prick now.
He was left foot and right foot, wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I remember him with Arsenal. He when was it Bold? Steve Bold took over as from Pat Rice as the assistant manager around that time. See, Connor. See,
We still learning for our Wenger.
Tried to catch me out in these things.
But you didn't know the Spanish club.
No, I couldn't think. I knew he played for a Spanish club. Christ, I just couldn't think of it off the top of my head.
That makes sense when he's Spanish, like.
It is 20. It is 20 minutes past 12. Aaron Gubbins, what's all your greatest memory at an Ireland game? Probably that goal by
Robbie Brady. What's it?
Michael Obafemi. Sorry, I'm so tired. Michael Obafemi, that screamer against Scotland.
Mine's Finn Izaz making his debut.
Yours, Martin?
Robbie Keane, last minute, Germany.
You were there, weren't you? That's pretty good, and to be fair. Actually, do you know what? Probably Robbie Keane's goal against France in Paris. That moment of euphoria.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And Robbie Brady against Italy as well, 2016.
Shane Long against Germany.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I was at that game.
Mm.
Yeah, Robbie Brady against Italy in Lille. And what was your one? Robbie Brady against Germany?
No, Shane Long.
Sorry, Shane Long. Were you there for that one?
Yeah.
Were you about 2? He's a little baby.
I was about 14.
And
I was about 15, 16.
Go on. He just asked us for one, lads. Need to get through these comments.
Yeah.
We're going way over. Nick, Sean Dyche, Rune Hendrick. Baylor did see great. Well, maybe got all the creativity out of him. Did see the greatest footballer of all time. The fact he hasn't been given a World Cup for Ireland for just being that good is a disgrace. Says Pele, who's dead. Dean Blood.
Yeah.
I've been getting ads a couple of times to stream. Okay, Dean, we're sorry.
It's been on other streams as well.
No, just YouTube. Lansdowne Road. Why are these guys not talking about? Why are these guys not talking about Ferguson's patella injury? Lansdowne Road. The same again. Rolling Stone. Who's did see? David McGoldrick. Eddie McGoldrick's brother. Rolling Stone.
No, he is David McGoldrick. Just so he knows.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm sure they will talk about Evan's injury next week. Oh my Jesus. And Curtis, same again. A couple of ads also during the stream. Lads, click that thumbs up button. Forget about the stream. Just we'll sort that next week with the ads. So we we're learning. But also do hit that thumbs up button, please. Baylor just saw a TikTok there, and it was debating if McGoldrick could do it in the championship. Surely he slots in above Obafemi and many low-end
100%,
championship
yeah.
strikers. Has Heimer bought a gaff yet? He hasn't, has he?
I don't know.
No.
I'd say he's rent somewhere anywhere. You'd have to rent something.
To be fair, Joe, I wouldn't buy a place in Ireland if I was from Iceland, because no offense to him, we probably couldn't afford it even on the salary.
Do you know what I would do?
Ridiculous.
If I was getting an Ireland job, if I was him, but he wouldn't have known this at this stage. You'd have it in your contract that the FAI pay for accommodation for him somewhere in Ireland, but he probably wouldn't have known at that stage. It's impossible to get a house of decent standard in Ireland for the money you'd pay.
Yeah, it's the housing situation in Ireland is absolutely ridiculous. Lee Carsey will be a disaster. Greece made a show of England. It was one game, and they battered. They beat Greece then, didn't they? In Greece,
but he did get exposed a wee bit.
He's a bit naive. John O'Shea needs some actual managerial experience first, says Nick.
Agreed.
Baylor over 40 years.
He means the World Cup thing.
Aaron Gubbins, our tickets out for the Portugal game in Dublin.
No. I'd say July time probably will be, won't it?
House and Agley, summer 2026 is a 48 team World Cup.
Will be in that.
Rolling Stone, 2-footed players are so rare. Charlton, Hoddle. I can't think of any more.
Hamsik.
Damien Duff. He was 2-footed, wasn't he? Played left, right.
Mason Greenwood is very. I know he's a thing. Yeah, Usman Dembele, Perisic. There is still quite a few. Evan Ferguson is quite 2-footed as well. Vinazar is very 2-footed. Kevin De Bruyne with 2 feet. It's very good. Not many that really take corners with both feet. I remember Hamsik done it against Ireland in that playoff.
Fair. And Wilson Morrison, 2-footed players: Asami, Dembele, Greenwood, and Perisic. Aaron Gubbins, as a Clare man, Connor, what do you think of Barry Cotter as he is from Clare?
Good player, but he's out for the rest of the season injured. Good right back. Doing well at Barnsley.
Aaron Gubbins, will Monaghan win Ulster?
No, I don't think so. Donegal are thrown probably. There
you go. And Joe 123452 says, I'm going to bed. And Joe, I'm going to bed too. Not with Joe, by the way.
Only you would think that. No one else thought you were going to be doing that other than you.
Well, it's a longer episode than anticipated, but you know what? We are Irish football's most interactive podcast, and we will go through everything. And just don't be a dick like a certain person was tonight. But there you go. But most of you, everyone else here is lovely, even if we don't agree. And thank you so much again for the support. You guys are amazing. Like just under 1,800 watching this again on a Sunday night is mad. Is absolutely mad. But thank you so much. I've enjoyed it. Hope the lads have enjoyed it, and hope you guys have enjoyed it too. And Dean Flood, see you in bed.
Can we just have a moment of appreciation for Martin after his bullying tonight? We hope that he recovers from this bullying and he doesn't report anyone to the. I don't know who in England you'd report him to for the bullying he's got received from Dave and other people slagging him for having an English accent, which I would never do. But
I don't bully anybody. I'm lovely. But I'll see you in bed, Dean. Joe 123452. Can you discuss Evan Ferguson, please?
I heard he has a patella injury. Someone told me.
Listen back.
Yeah,
you can discuss.
No. I'm sure he's being facetious. Very Ferguson heavy. Anyway, but listen, we are going to leave it there. No more comments, please. I'm going to head to bed. Maybe with Dean if you play cards right. Right. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the page. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to one more time tonight. 41% of you are not subscribed watching this. That is outrageous. It is wrong. So you need to subscribe, please.
I would make a prediction that Martin isn't subscribed to the channel.
Are you subscribed to the YouTube channel?
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah, I am.
Lansdowne ROAR doesn't count. Yeah.
Oh, I am.
On how many?
3 or 4 different accounts.
I hope so.
Better be. Right. Anyway, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much again. We will be back during the week. We'll have the League of Ireland review on Tuesday/Wednesday. And then, of course, we'll have another episode of Roar. And we'll be back next Sunday where we will be live. Martin, will you be on next Sunday?
No, not after tonight's hate. No.
Don't you dare try and use that as an excuse.
No.
And as Joe said,
I'm on an international
duty
break.
Dean. All right, Dean. And yeah, we are going to keep it down. Says Joe 1 2 3 4 5 2. Right. Anyway, listen, guys, thank you so much. We'll be live next week. It's been a strange episode. I feel like it was a bit it's a bit mad tonight. Anyway, I'm David Dunn. He is Martin Prendergast. That's Conor McAvoy up there. This is Lansdowne ROAR. Please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account, and obviously the YouTube channel. Don't make me put the graphic up again. You guys are amazing. Without you, we would be nothing. This is Lansdowne ROAR. Come on, you boys in green. Good night. God bless, and see you in a bit, Dean.